Hi, everyone. Welcome to another live stream with Costume Co. And today I have a great guest with me. His name is Jamie Hughes. He's from the Jamie Hughes Show, which is another YouTube channel. And, you know, you guys hear me talk about this a lot, that I love supporting other channel creators. So hello, Jamie. Welcome.
Hello, Heidi. Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be on the stream and to be talking movies with you today. And before I jump into it, I just said this to you, but thank you for having me on the stream. It's awesome to be here.
Oh, I'm really happy to have you. You said you've been on a few other streams, but they were you said that it was a wrestling channel.
Yeah, it was wrestling related, so it's two completely different spectrums.
That's awesome. So, I'm a huge movie fan, and which is one of the reasons why I love talking about costumes in movies, but also as I just love movies too. So I thought this would be a really great opportunity to get to talk about movies. And so what we were going to do today is talk about some upcoming movies that we're looking forward to in the summer. And it looks like there's going to be a good lineup of movies coming up. What do you think?
There is a ton, and again, it's really nice to talk about movies that are upcoming, because usually it's like doing reviews. It's movies that have been, if that makes sense. So I never really get a chance to sit and see what's coming out. It's normally like as soon as something's out, like we could go straight back and have to. That makes no sense, I realize. But like when you're a reviewer, obviously you have to review stuff that's already out, and you don't really get a chance to stop and see what you're excited for. So it was nice to have the opportunity to see a good, nice array. And there's a lot of different type of movies that are coming out this summer. That
yeah, there's like a little bit of something for everybody. So before we start with that, like you and I met through Nick Nimmin, who is another creator. He's like a hugely successful creator now.
I know, 200,000 subscribers this week.
Yeah, so we're really happy for him. And you're from England. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Wales. I'm going to correct you.
Oh my God!
I know. That's it. We can't.
Right out of the gate, I screwed up.
No, I'm from Wales. I'm from North Wales. It's a really weird place as well. I'm from a place called Mold. I know that sounds as glamorous.
How do you spell?
It's Mold.
Oh, it is, okay.
And the Welsh translation is a Withgrig, which I'll give you as well, which I don't know what it means. Obviously, it means
with Grig.
Or a Withgrig.
With Grig.
Yeah, that's as close as I struggle to say it sometimes as well. But.
I'm sorry, I've already insulted you. That's like, okay, so the Canadian equivalent would be like calling a Newfoundlander a Nova Scotian.
That's what's true, but yeah.
Or calling a Canadian an American.
Yeah, I've done that once. That was I know a band from Canada, and I did it where the first time I met him was like, oh, what part of America from? I was like, yeah, from Canada.
Or maybe a New Zealander or an Australian. I don't think they like that.
Yeah, done that as well. It's just
okay. So actually, and I know another Danielle is from Wales as well. Do you know Danielle cutting the caboose?
Yeah, I do. I'm aware of Danielle. I've sadly never met her or spoke to her, but I've seen her again.
I want to have her on the show. She's a riot.
She's from what I've seen in Nick's stream, she's awesome.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your channel and why you got into doing movie reviews. So how did you start that with?
I started 2 years ago last week, actually. And it's a really weird story. I used to work for another YouTuber, and I used to edit his videos and stuff, and it was completely movie related. And as our time kind of progressed with each other, we started another YouTube channel, which was separate, which was where we started talking about movies and stuff. Sadly, my time at that company ended, and it was like, I really, really love doing YouTube. I'd caught the bug, and I wanted to keep doing it. And it was, something I'd already done. I had a little bit of experience in, so it was kind of like, well, I love doing movies. I've always kind of wanted to talk about movies. I've been doing it for so long. Then, why not just start the channel? And that is where the Jamie Hughes Show started, and it's just kind of rolled from there. Really, it's just a place to talk movies. As I say in the tagline of the show is movie news and reviews with awesome bonus features. I'm not quite sure what the awesome bonus features are yet, but it's usually just movie news and reviews. And yeah, I just love talking about films. I love the kind of whole film community, meeting awesome people like yourself. It's just great, really.
Yeah, it's totally true. And so you and I have been, I think, at it for about the same amount of time, because I think I started June 2 years ago. So it's been, so we've both have been slugging at it the same amount of time. I just want to, Jamie, so there's some people in the chat. I thought we'd say hi. Doing it with Jason's here. Do you know him, Jason?
I don't know, but hello, Jason.
He's another creator. He does a show where he does stuff like to do with like carpentry and distressing wood and that type of thing. So we'll say hi to Jason. He's a riot. Cardinal Doomsday, hello. Emmanuel Favuza, hopefully I'm saying that right. Aaron LaFay, he's my longest, viewer. He's been with me since the beginning, and he's our moderator today.
Awesome. Hello, Aaron.
And Tatiana Melendez is here. She's my other long-term reviewer, and I adore her. She says, "Hey, darling." What's she saying here? "Hey, darling, I'm only saying a quick hi right now because I'm at a wedding." Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I know whose wedding is it? I hope it's a fun wedding. I hope you're
maybe
not.
It was yeah. She's in Costa Rica. She lives there.
Nice.
And then it says, "Hello, Heidi. I'm just stopping in to say hello. Thank you for your support. I have to grill as we are down the shore." I don't know what that means. Does he mean like grilling food?
I don't know, is he going or is he grilling? He's going to grill.
Either way. He's popping in. Samayed Sand is here. Ian Trone is here. Chrissy of Oldstone. So we got a really great crew. And before I get going, guys, I just wanted to say, so Aaron LaFay, his grandmother, his great aunt passed away last weekend. She was one of our viewers, and it was really, really, really sad when I found out. So after the stream last weekend, he was I could tell in the stream that he was not in the best way. And then so we chatted after, and it turned out that Genevieve had passed away. So I was really, really sorry for that loss. And I have a video coming out tonight where I've done a dedication to her, Aaron. So just so you know, we're thinking of you, and I'm really glad you were able to come. But, of course, losing a loved one is always hard. And, she's I felt like she was one of our community. And Aaron told me that she'd bought one of my books. I'm like, oh my God, nobody buys my books. So that kind of blew me away, that she'd bought one of my books. So anyway, it was a very sad time last weekend after I'd found out that she'd passed away. But she had a good long life. But she left behind a twin brother. So that's very hard, So anyways, guys, sorry to take it to a sad note there, but I just wanted to mention that.
I raise a glass to Genevieve.
And yes, and let's raise a glass and toast to Genevieve. Cheers. You don't say Slàinte in Wales. What do you say? What do you say in do you say Slàinte?
No, that's more of a Scottish thing. But
that's a Scottish thing. See, I'm all.
I know you're all.
Buggering this up.
It's all right. We're Celtic. We're Celtic cousins. It's fine. It's fine.
You're Celtic cousins. Do you have an expression you use?
Not really. So I suppose cheers is the closest thing. But I do like Slàinte. I use Slàinte. My dad lives in Scotland, so.
Oh, okay, sure.
I've adopted Slàinte.
Yeah. So, and anyways, guys, I also wanted to mention that I put Jamie's links in the description. So I've got your YouTube channel, and I've got your Twitter there. Or is there anywhere else on social media that you like to hang out?
I have a Facebook for the channel, and that's the Jamie Hughes Show, so you can check that out as well. I just kind of just post links there. But yeah, Twitter's the main place outside of YouTube if you want to have a chat.
That's like me as well. That's usually So anyway, I was kind of excited. I saw, there was a couple of things that happened I noticed on your channel. One was that you posted a review of the new Solo movie. So what were your quick impressions? What are your thoughts on that movie, Jamie?
Okay, not to try and I'm going to try and keep spoilers to a minimum. There's one thing I want to say very quickly is that after you've seen it, Heidi, I'm demanding that you have a video dedicated to Lando's capes. There is a scene in this movie that is just like you see a reveal of Lando's capes, and it was amazing, and I instantly thought of you. So if I don't get a video about Lando's capes, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. But
I'm definitely going to do a review. It's funny because I've done a review of Star Wars, the original trilogy Star Wars, and then I've had people ask me, "Are you going to do the prequels and so on?" And then what the new movies, I was just like, "Oh, it's pretty good, but nothing to write home about, in my humble opinion." But when I saw the trailer for the new Solo movie, I thought, "Wow, these costumes look amazing!" Like not even just Lando, but just in general, they just all looked really, really styling and had that sort of 70s feel vibe to them, 70s 80s vibe. And so I actually got a press kit from Disney.
Nice.
So I think I still have to see it. So yeah, his cape looks amazing. And apparently they made him a pillow. I saw an interview with the actor. They made him a pillow out of the fun fur that they used for his cape.
Oh, that's amazing.
He didn't get to keep the original cape because they'll probably tour it or something, right?
Yeah, I'd say there is a scene, and it's just, I think, just full of like all these different types of capes that Lando has. I think he has like an Hawaiian shirt cape.
Oh my God.
Well. I know. There is a cape for every occasion. I think he has one. But yeah, I say my thoughts on the movie is that I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I think the best way I can describe it is, have you seen like all of the new Star Wars films up until this point? So like The Last Jedi, Force Awakens.
Yes, absolutely.
You're all caught up. So they seem to have taken, in my humble opinion, a kind of darker turn. It seems like there's this overhanging sense of dread in Star Wars films now. Like everything's really dark, and not that Star Wars has lost its fun edge, but I feel like it's gained a little bit of fun with Solo. I think it's one of those movies that's just really light and bright, and you could just stick it on whenever, whatever type of mood you're in. And it's just a really fun time, and it's really enjoyable. And I think it really goes back to what Star Wars essentially is at its heart, which is a really charming, fun tale. And
I totally agree with what you're saying. It's funny because one of the things, this is costume wise, but the stormtroopers, like, you know, the Federation, whatever they're called, they Lucas was trying to keep it away from looking too much like Nazi stormtroopers, but the more recent outings look kind of like they look like Nazi stormtroopers. So I thought that was really interesting because John Mollo tried to, you know, avoid having that look that people would make that connection, even though they're called stormtroopers. But whereas the colors in this new movie, and even the posters and everything, are just really vibrant and rich and, you know, bright.
Yeah. And I say, and to go back to that is, I hope this isn't a spoiler, but what is that it kind of tries to distance itself from that type of thing as well, like you're saying with the stormtroopers. I know there's very minimal stormtrooper interaction in this movie. There's very minimal like Star Wars in this movie, which is really nice, if that makes sense. This film very much has its own identity. It likes to visit Star Wars rather than try and force Star Wars upon you. And yeah, the costumes are amazing. Like I never pick up. I'm really glad we're talking about Solo because I never pick up on costumes in films. But this one, it was like everything was so striking. Like even Chewbacca, like who can't wear a costume, even like he had a costume and it worked. I think have you seen any pictures of Emilia Clarke's character Kira?
Yeah, I saw one. I saw a couple of her costumes. They look really great. And of course, yeah, it's, you know, a lot of people like, I love that Tandy Newton's in it, and she's from Westworld, and then we've got Emilia Clarke, and she's from Game of Thrones, and then I love Woody Harrelson. It's just like it's a really great cast, like, you know. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think a lot of people, I don't know what everyone's saying here. Everyone, oh, my son is here. My son is in the chat, everyone. Graydon Loney is my son. Hi, Graydon. He says, hi, mommy. Do not respond to this comment in the video. Oh, oops.
You just totally ruined his street cred. How could you?
Sorry, buddy. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. Graydon, my youngest son, he's got his own channel. It's called Graydon Loney Plush Videos. He's got his own YouTube channel where he makes plush videos. Usually around Mario, Luigi characters, you know, Super Mario, Logan, that type of thing. Yeah. So anyway, and then do you want to talk about some of these movies that the other thing I wanted to mention is that I noticed you had something about there might be another dedicated Star Wars movie coming up. Which one was that? I just briefly saw that on your channel.
Yes. In fact, there may be another 5.
What?
There's 4 rumored, but the one that they've kind of confirmed is that there's going to be a Boba Fett movie.
Okay, yeah.
Which Logan, the guy that directed Logan, James Mangold, has apparently signed on to write and direct, but he's busy doing other stuff at the minute, so I'm not sure when that's going to happen. But yeah, they've definitely said that they're going to do a Boba Fett movie, and then the other 4 are a possible Solo sequel, depending on how well this movie does. But I think that they're probably going to do a sequel, and I can't say any more than that because for anyone that hasn't seen the first film.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm assuming he gets out alive. I'm assuming him and Chewbacca make it out.
There was moments.
Like, I mean, that's just, you know, I'm not a, what do you call it, clairvoyant or anything, but I just assumed that.
Yeah, that is one of my criticisms about Solo, is that you kind of know that like these two are going to be okay. You're not sure about the rest of the characters, but you know there's moments where these characters are in peril, but you're like, well, I think they're going to be okay.
Unless it's a J.J. Abrams thing and there's an alternative universe.
Maybe there is. it's going to cross over and they're going to be in the next Star Trek film or something.
So yeah, in terms of like, oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say the other four movies were to say that there was the Solo sequel, a possible Yoda movie, which I don't know how that's going to. Yeah, there's talk of an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie that seems like the second highest in likability to happen, and then there's weirdly a Jabba the Hutt movie, which is scheduled to be made, but again, I'm not sure how feasible that would be.
And then did you hear Dave and Dan from Westworld, or sorry, from Game of Thrones, they're going to be perhaps doing their own television series? Like, it's going to get to the point, it's going to be like there's going to be no room for anything else between Game of Thrones. It's just going to be a Game of Thrones, Star Wars, everything. I probably will tap out a little bit on that because I just, it'll just be too much. I mean, I wasn't, I saw the prequels, but I just, I can, someone asked me about that the other day.
That's the best description I've ever heard of the
prequels. Yeah, well, I'm old, right? Like I went to see Star Wars when I was a little girl, and at the time it was, it was groundbreaking, and it was, so some of the people, I had a friend who said, "Oh, Heidi, get over it. It's a kids movie," talking about the prequels. And so yeah, so if you were growing up at the time when the prequels came out, you'd probably be like, "Oh, this is really great," and you like Jar Jar Binks, and you might buy his action figure, or have his sheets on your bed, which is really awful thinking about having Jar Jar Binks bed sheets surrounding you at night, smothering you with that, imagining that terrible accent, whatever was supposed to be. So, I grew up with the old school Star Wars. So for me, I'm like, I'm kind of a nerd and a purist. And so, yeah, maybe a little bit elitist. I'm a little bit elitist for that.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to be in this instance because the prequels are terrible. See, I grew up when the prequels came out. I was about, I remember it was 1999, the first one, so I would have been about 6. I can't even remember how old I was. Yeah, 6. I was like 6 or 7 when the Phantom Menace came out. I can remember going to see it because I'd seen like the original Star Wars on video and stuff, and I was obsessed. And I remember going to see the Phantom Menace. I thought it was the best thing in the world. And then obviously about 4 or 5 years later, Attack of the Clones came out, and then it was like I was like 14, so I started to get a mind of my own. And then it was like, yeah, this is not great. These aren't as good as I remember. They're going to get worse. And then obviously the Revenge of the Sith came out, and it was just terrible.
Yeah. So okay, so coming up for the summer, like what movies are you kind of like? Is there anything that pops out to you that you're like, wow, I can't wait to see that movie?
I think most of them have gone. All the ones I was really excited for have kind of already happened. To say, like, obviously Avengers: Infinity War was amazing.
And Deadpool.
Deadpool 2. I've almost forgot about Deadpool 2.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? I haven't seen it yet. I'm always usually a few months behind.
I was going to say, again, spoiler free.
I'm going to watch I, Tonya tonight. That's how far behind I am.
But I've not seen I, Tonya.
I haven't? Okay.
I went to a screening and and it had already started. The film started early, and I'd missed like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I just couldn't get in. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get into the film, so I left and just never went back to see it. But I've heard very good things. Apparently, Anna Sinjani's amazing in it, and obviously Margot Robbie as Tanya. But yeah, it seems like a really interesting film. She had a wonderful life, did Tanya Harding. I don't know much about her, but
it's kind of like, I think it's a bit like a satire too. They do it a little bit. It's got that sort of British sort of feel to it, that sort of how they handle it. But the movie I'm really looking forward to is Incredibles 2, because it's been years since the original.
Yes, it's been, how is it, 15 years? I think I've read somewhere, if not longer.
Yeah, and I mean, I've yet to see a Pixar movie. I think there's a few I might have not seen, but I pretty much have loved every Pixar movie.
Yeah, I think the only one that gets universal like a lot of bad criticism is Cars 2, but even that's pretty good if you compare it to like most animated films. It's still
and then they did, but Cars 3 was pretty good. Like they sort of redeemed it.
I've not seen Cars 3.
Yeah, well, I have kids, right? So,
and so obviously, I've got nieces and nephews. That's what I blame most of my things on. Is like, the kid that my nephew wants to go see it. It's like, no, I totally want to watch this film myself.
Now, okay, so starting in June. So I've got the dates here. So we've got Heredity. Okay, Heredity. I just watched the trailer. That looks really creepy.
I know.
That's coming out June 8th.
Before, can I tell you a really funny story about Hereditary? Sure. I don't know if you saw this news piece. Do you remember the Peter Rabbit, the live action Peter Rabbit movie that came out
Yes.
a few months ago. So I read this news story, and I don't. It makes me chuckle, but it's really quite terrifying. During the trailers for the movie, obviously Peter Rabbit is a kids' film. The theater accidentally played the trailer for Hereditary in the previews for Peter Rabbit, and like all the kids were mortified. Apparently, they had to stop the showing. They had to like give refunds out.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah. I just watched the trailer. It's terrifying.
I know, like I was scared seeing it in the cinema. So imagine being like a 6, 7 year old kid, and then I thought it was it's kind of like it's kind of a bad story, but it's quite funny at the same time.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. So, well, and there was something controversial about Peter Rabbit. I can't remember what it was.
It was I did a news story on this over on my channel, but it was something to do with Mr. McGregor. The character Mr. McGregor had an allergy to some sort of fruit.
Oh, okay.
And the rabbits knew that he had an allergy, so they threw this fruit at him. One landed in his throat, and his throat swelled up, and they had to give him like a stab of an EpiPen. And apparently, a lot of people thought it was quite bad and quite controversial.
They're making fun of like anaphylactic.
Yeah. Like obviously, if a kid saw this and thought it was funny, then they might throw fruit or something at their friends at school, and
they pelt somebody with peanut butter.
Yeah, and their friends might die or something. So I kind of saw both sides of the story, but apparently in context, a lot of people took it out of context. And in the film, it wasn't as bad as what people made it out to be, but it still obviously caused enough of a stir. But yeah, it's weird. Peter Rabbit just causing controversy left, right, and center.
Yeah. So are you like, what kind of movies do you like normally? What's your favorite type of movie?
That's a tough question. I like it's a really cop-out answer. If I like all movies, but I do have a little soft spot for horror. I like a really good horror film. I like being scared, but probably horror.
So now apparently like Heredity is the same. I don't know if it's the same producers as The Witch. Did you see that? That was a really good movie.
Love The Witch. So good.
So if anybody hasn't seen it in the chat, it was really good. It's historical, like it's set in the it's sort of like I think the 17th century, and then the girl who stars in it, she's also from was it the one that's by M. Night Shyamalan?
Oh, Split. Is it Anna Taylor?
Yeah,
Anna Taylor Joy,
she's got like 3 names. Yeah, so she's in it, and she's really good. And the crazy character from Game of Thrones, like Caitlyn's sister's in it. She plays her mother.
Yes.
Do you recall that? Yeah. So it's really worth a watch. It got kind of like, I think it got pretty much universally, good marks or whatever by critics. I think it was loved by critics for the most part. There might be some people who didn't like it, but I thought it was really, really well done and really kind of scary. Like, but this Heredity movie, like the kid in that, doesn't she look like really weird?
She is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, is this sort of like, are they exploiting her or something? Like she's just a little girl?
Because I think there's a line in it where they're like in the trailer, and she's like, "Oh, like your grandmother used to like breastfeed you, not your mum." And I thought, well, is that supposed to be like, oh, so the kid's supposed to be like a little bit like not deformed, or she's supposed to have something wrong with her? And then like that's is it a prosthetic job, or does the kid, are they actually like exploiting this kid's looks for?
That's what I kind of thought, because like we just my kids and I, we just watched we read the book. We read I can't remember Graydon, if you're in the chat, you can tell Mommy what the name of the book was. But it's about a little boy who has a facial deformity, and then but the actor they hired, it was a prosthetic. Do you know what I'm talking about? Wonder.
Wonder, yeah.
Yeah. So, but they hired like the same with, years ago they did Mask, and they hired it was Eric Stoltz, and he had a prosthetic. So, I was like, I'm hoping this is a prosthetic, because if they've hired a kid and then they're like exploiting her, maybe she's special needs or something like that, then it would feel. But and also the actress who in it, she looks pretty scary in it too. Like I think she's supposed to be, the whole family looks like they're supposed to be.
Is it Toni Collette's the lead actress?
Toni Collette is starring in it. So anyways, guys, like that's coming out in a couple of weeks at the same time as Ocean's 8. So what do you think about that? Are you looking forward to a female, we had sort of, after they did Ghostbusters, a female Ghostbusters, that kind of took a backlash. What's the perception on Ocean's 8, do you think?
I think there's still a lot of backlash. I watched the trailer for this earlier on today because they recently just released another trailer, and there's still a lot of dislikes on the videos for both trailers, and I think the comments are still very very negative towards it. But I don't know about you. I was a kid when the kind of George Clooney versions of Ocean's 8 came out, and I thought they were really boring. I wasn't a fan. I remember watching like one with my parents and thinking like, this is the longest film I've ever seen in my life. I just felt like nothing was going to happen in it. But I think I'm weirdly excited for this one, because I think that if they kind of buy into this kind of thing of like, oh, we're doing like another all-female kind of film, and they kind of make fun of themselves. You know, like Ghostbusters tried to do it, and it felt a little bit forced, like they'd done it in the reshoots. I think with Ocean's 8, they can kind of be in on the joke a little bit. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And I think if it's like a really fun, over-the-top movie, I think it'll work, and I think it'll win people round. Like, personally, I'm really excited for it. I think it's got a great cast. So you've got Sandra Bullock.
It's got like, they're all like A-list actors.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway. I think she's playing
Anne Hathaway is in it. Yeah.
So there's a really big actress, and I can't remember her name.
Yeah. But you know, to be honest with you, I can't even tell you that I've even seen the originals. I don't think I have.
Trust me, you're not missing out on much.
Like, I don't think I have. I don't know. I might have, but I honestly, I don't. It's a heist movie, like where they're doing a heist, right?
That's pretty much it.
And that's what this one looks like. It's a setup. She's gotten out of jail, and she, like the Sandra Bullock character, she plays Danny Ocean. She plays Debbie Ocean.
Yeah, so she's obviously Danny Ocean is George Clooney's character from the kind of original. So that I think that's the tie-in to the other Ocean's 8 franchise. I think that's how they've tried to connect the movies, which again I'm like okay with.
Yeah, see, I was always more of a Quentin Tarantino sort of things go wrong kind of. Yeah. I was always more like, like Reservoir Dogs kind of versus Ocean's 11. Yeah. I was always more of that type of person. So the other one, okay, so we talked about The Incredibles 2. Yeah, you said you're looking forward to that one. That's one for sure I'll check out. So that's coming out June 15th. And it's the same cast is all coming back. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the only addition is Bob Odenkirk's in Incredibles 2 as well, who looks I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it, but do you think Bob Odenkirk's character looks incredibly like Walt Disney from in the Incredibles 2? I don't know if you've seen the picture of him.
No, I haven't.
No, he looks. I saw the trailer for it, and he looks so much like Walt Disney, and I kind of hope it is a little nod to, because we've never seen that in like any Disney film, I don't think.
And if anybody doesn't know who Bob Odenkirk, he's from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he was
the lawyer. He's Jimmy, and he has his own show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's a really great comedic actor. And then the other one is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That one is coming out June 22nd. So these are all coming out in June, guys.
So excited for Jurassic.
That looks pretty good. And Jeff Goldblum's in it again, so that'll be awesome. We all love Jeff Goldblum. He's so great.
My slight brag on this is that we got it 2 weeks earlier than the rest of the world. I don't know why, but for some reason it's coming out in the UK on the 7th of June.
Yeah, no, you said do you get to go to screeners? Is that what you said earlier?
No, it's we kind of well, I'm really disappointed in the UK like cinema scene, because everything kind of big happens in London, but there's a Cineworld, a cinema chain over here in the UK called Cineworld, and I know you're probably not aware. Do you know Cineworld? I don't know if they have them globally.
No, I don't think so.
And there's Odeon as well, and View. They're kind of
we have Odeon. Okay.
Yeah, so they're kind of the three big cinemas over here, and they do like subscription cards where you pay a certain amount a month and you can go see as many movies as you'd like in the month.
Sure.
And I use Cineworld just because it's closer to me, but I know Odeon do it as well. And sometimes they show they have like unlimited screenings, they're called. So they go and show a movie maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of days earlier than its initial release date. And then sometimes they do secret ones where it's like a month. It's just in a random month. They'll just show a movie and you don't know what it is. You turn up and hopefully it's something good. I think the two that I've been to, it was Molly's Game and Love, Simon, which are two pretty good films. So yeah, I don't get to see advanced screenings as such, but
Yeah, Molly's Game is on Netflix in Canada. I don't know if you guys have it on Netflix.
I don't think it's out over here on
Oh,
but yeah, I'd suggest giving it a watch if you've got a spare two
yeah.
hours and
Yeah, no,
45
I'd
minutes
love
or
to
something.
see it. Okay, so then you like horror movies. So in July 4th, we've got the first Purge coming out. What do you think of that? That's the prequel. It's sort of like a prequel to the Purge. So that trailer looks pretty crazy too.
I know it's I'm really excited for the Purge. I don't know if I should admit this, but I love the Purge. Like I know a lot of people.
A lot of people like it.
I know it's a really great. I think they've got better. I think they had like it felt to me like they had the concept of the first movie, and it's like we're not really sure what to do with it.
Yeah.
And then like as the movies have progressed, they've kind of yes, they're very similar to the last movie that came before it, but they're still very like they're still good. I don't know. There's something about them. I think there's a certain charm about the Purge that it kind of works as a horror film. I think they tried to step away from horror a little bit in the last two. They've become a little bit more action. But I'm skeptical about the first Purge. I don't know if it's going to be because we've seen it.
Well, the concept is pretty like Marissa Tomei's in it.
Yeah, apparently she's the girl that kicks it all off.
Yeah, but what I think what's good about it is that they've sort of thrown a wrench in. So the premise, from what I saw, is that they're trying out the first Purge to see how it goes, and when it doesn't look like the regular citizens are going to actually partake, they send in a squad, like a group of like ex-military, to actually get it going, and then she finds out. So that's so they're people aren't naturally just going to go around killing people, so they have to kick it off, and then they've got this group of people who are trying to, I think I don't know if you got this impression from it, but the impression I got from it is that they're sort of tapping into a little bit of race relations in this movie, and sort of trying to turn that on its side a little bit. Did you get that impression at all? Because there's
a little bit, yeah, but again, like all the marketing for this movie has basically been like Trump. It's been surrounded by Trump. I don't know if you saw the posters for it and stuff. They've had like I can't remember. It's like the Trump, the Make America Great Again hats.
Yeah, so they're sort of trying to.
They are trying to incite. Yeah.
Yeah, because so you've got this like divisiveness going on in the States right now, and you've got like the Black Lives Matter versus the Trumpists who are trying to they're having this conflict with one another. So it looked like that the movie is sort of tapping into that. Like, and we don't have that nearly as much in Canada. I don't know about you guys. Well, you've got Brexit. Do you have Brexit in Wales?
We got Brexit. Brexit.
So so I mean, I think they're maybe trying to tap into a little bit what's going on, but it looked like they were because they've got like a largely Black cast who are at conflict in this conflict, and so it looks like they're sort of tapping in and trying to take some of these stereotypes that we might make about people of color, and then trying to put that on its side, and so it looks like it's got some interesting.
It's got its finger on the political pulse. I think it's going to try and, but I think they've tried to do that again, like not to that extent where it's been a predominantly like as you say like a people of color cast. In the third movie, they definitely tried to do that a little bit more on the kind of political side, and it looks like they've gone, okay, maybe we've got quite a good idea here, so we're going to go back and like implement it into another movie later on where it can work on a bigger scale, because obviously like Trump wasn't in power during the last time, the third time when the third movie came out, The Purge, but they kind of reference it towards the end. So I think they've just gone back and thought, okay, well, let's just try and make another movie to make Trump angry or something. Or
Ian Tron says that Purge is also getting a TV series.
I did see
that
something.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, it could be. I think it could be a series because it's kind of like a dystopia in a way.
Yeah.
It's the like crime has gotten out of hand, and this is their way of sort of dealing with, or what it all reminds me of. It reminds me of like not the Hunger Games so much, but more like the Running Man, where they have to create some type of contest, or death match or whatever in order to deal with human aggression.
Yeah, I think that would, I've not seen I've not seen The Running Man. I've not. Am I gonna?
It's really bad.
Okay, I was gonna say
it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. It
can't be bad. How can it be bad if Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, I kind of liked it. I have to admit, I kind of liked it, but I'd read the book too. It's based on a Stephen King book. It's like
Right,
Molly's
so,
Game. Molly's
yeah.
Game is based on Stephen King. So, you know, Stephen King always comes up with these really, really interesting ideas. And he wrote another book called I don't know if it's the Long Walk or something, where basically it's a contest. It's like you have to keep walking, and then if you don't, then they kill you, kind of thing. But the people who win end up making all this money. So usually it's sort of in a it's within a dystopian society. So that's what's going on with The Running Man and with any of these contests shows like Deathmatch and any of these. It's usually within a dystopian society, and then it's oftentimes televised or, you know, that type of thing. Because I don't know if the Purge, if it's televised. They do televise it, don't they?
I think it's semi. I think it's maybe the first or second Purge. I think they do. I think like somebody live streams a killing. I think, but I don't think it's like all like within the Purge universe. I don't think anything's on TV.
Yeah. I was just going to read a few more comments we have here. So Cardinal Doomsday says Ewoks got their own movies back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
these the really, really bad holiday specials. I only know
the
about
holiday specials, the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah, and I think they did like 2 little spin-offs, which looked terrifying. I don't know, Honest Trailers did an Honest trailer of them a couple of days ago, and the Ewok movies looked terrifying. Like,
you mean the Channel Screen Junkies did an Honest trailer?
Yeah, they did an Honest trailer of the I think it was the 1980 holiday special, which is like really weird. I've not seen. I'm gonna say, have you seen it?
I have. No, I never saw it. I think you can see it. I think you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, it looks crazy. And then they did these like 2 or 3 Ewok movies that just look, again, just completely terrifying. Apparently, in the second one, like all of the Ewoks just die in the first 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and they get brutally murdered.
And then, oh, that's awful.
I know.
They're so cute, the little Ewoks. Oh, and Samiyad Sand says, "Oh my God, Incredibles! Why has it taken so long?" Yeah, it is kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It might have had something to do with John Lasseter or maybe the guy Brad Bird. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get it financing together for it or something. Who knows? It's like lots of reasons why movies don't get made, right? Aaron says, "Man, I was a kid when the first Incredibles movie came out." Yeah. Because Aaron, I think you're probably the same age as Jamie.
Yeah, was it 2002? I think the first Incredibles came out. I want to say 2002. So I'd have been about, I don't know, how old, 15? Yeah, I'd have been about 10.
Yeah, Cardinal Doomsday says, "You want to be scared, go and see Watership Down." Have you ever seen that?
I when I was a kid.
Yeah. The book traumatized me as a kid, Golf Princess says. Hi, Golf Princess, by the way. And then they're saying that the movie is way scarier. Haley Marie Wowo says, "Hey, I'm here. Hi, Haley Marie. Glad you're here." And what else here? Golf Princesses don't get triggered by women. They're people too. Yes, we are people.
Yeah, you are.
We are people too.
You can have all your movies. No matter any movie you want, you can be in it.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like, at the same time, I do, we don't have to always do a female version of a movie. Like, it's funny because I know there was a book years ago, a play actually called 12 Angry Men, and then they made it into like 12 Angry Women. Yeah, but of course it's like, it's the time, right? Because at the time women wouldn't have been jurors. They would have not been jurors. So anyway, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't get too bent out of shape about it. I do get a little bit mad when people start saying that there should be no Black people in Star Wars or something, or,
I know
or there shouldn't be a powerful female character like Rey or something like that. That's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm one of the first people who oftentimes, like, I watched this show the other day called Anon, and I was like, it's supposed to be in the future, and I'm like, where is everybody else? Like, there's no women, there's no people of color, there's like, it's all just like white men. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is supposed to be the future. Like, I live in Toronto, Canada, like everyone here is from somewhere else. It's so bizarre. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that stuff, guys. So what else do I have here? Oh, Samayad San says, I am a woman, sarcasm, people. She was just joking then. Herman Bum's mom says, Better Call Saul. Yeah, that's the name of the show that.
With.
That's actually Cindy. Her name's Cindy, but she has this. Cindy, why is that your name, by the way? Herman Bum's mom. Can you please tell me in the chat what the heck that's all about? Herman Bum's mom. Is that your son, Herman Bums? I don't get it.
I just went. She just went. I'm just call my head Herman Bum, and I'm going to be his mom.
Herman Bum's mom. It rhymes. Golf Princess says no. I end my sarcastic statements with S or sarcasm hashtag to make sure I am not misunderstood. Hard to convey tone and body language in chat. Yes, it is. Oh, everyone in the chat is always so lovely, by the way. Oh, we have a new person. Lemon cross W. I love Molly's game. I don't know if you're a female or a male, but welcome to the chat. Ian Trone says oh yeah, we got that. What else have we got? I don't know. Laugh out loud. My 4-year-old niece comes up with better ideas than the producers in Hollywood. Yeah, some of the ideas are kind of dumb, right? I mean, that is kind of true. Someone says Trumpist is a word.
I did pick up when you said Trumpist. I thought that's a great word.
I got it. I didn't make that up. Sorry, I got that from somebody else.
Damn.
I got that from another YouTuber. I stole it.
Do you like a Trumpist?
Trumpists, yeah, like they play like the trumpet, but it's yeah, I guess you don't have to explain it. So one of the movies coming out that I think looks really good that's coming out in July 6th is Ant-Man and the Wasp. What do you think of that? Did you see the trailer for that?
I did.
You're a Marvel Universe lover.
Sorry, what was that? I missed what you said then.
You're a Marvel Cinematic Universe lover.
I am a Marvel, but I've got a really bad confession to make, and
what's that?
I've not seen Ant-Man.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no problem.
I got caught. I was a little bit behind, like catching up on the MCU before obviously Infinity War, and everybody was kind of saying like one of the movies you can skip is Ant-Man because it doesn't have an effect on the story leading up into Infinity War. So I was like, yeah, I'll skip it and I'll go back and watch it. And then they announced like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was like, damn. So I've not seen it. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd, and I think. Ant-Man's amazing, and I can't wait.
Evangeline Lilly's in it. Evangeline, I did. You know what? Honestly, I actually did see it in the theater because I think we went to a birthday party and that's what we saw. So, and I thought it was pretty good. Like, but I think my favorite right now is Thor. I think that's like and Black Panther. It was amazing.
Have you seen Infinity War yet, by the way?
I haven't seen. No, I'll see it in 2 months. I'll probably see it. I'll probably see it soon. But I saw the trailer. Like, it looks pretty good.
It looks like they've really doubled down, which I like. I say I've not seen the first one, but from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks bigger, better, and everything just looks bigger. Which is kind of ironic because it's called Ant-Man, but.
Yeah, no, it's true, right? Yeah. And well, because in the original, I don't think this is a spoiler, but if the Evangeline Lilly character, she's not a superhero. So this is sort of her becoming like his sidekick. So the original is just sort of his origin story. And this is going to be just, I guess, him developing his sidekick. So I never read the comics or anything, so I didn't know anything about it, that.
No, I know. I think it ties in a lot. Have you seen Captain America Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, he's in that and stuff happens to him. I think it's more of from what I read, it's more of a continuation from obviously what happened in Civil War, and then it's going to lead into the effects of Infinity War. But that's all I'll say. And when did you say it comes out, by the way? Because there's a bit of
that one's coming out July 6th, so not for another month and so.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of time for you to see the original.
Yeah, well, a lot of time actually, because it's not this movie's not coming out in the UK until August 6th.
Oh wow!
I know. There's been some.
I was going to tell everybody in the chat, like, if you guys have any movies you're looking forward to, let us know what you're looking forward to, as well, because there's other movies we're probably not talking about that you might be excited about to see, and then maybe Jamie can comment on that.
Yeah, let us know, because there's loads coming out this sort. Like when we were making this list, there was loads of movies I'd not heard of, and they were jumping out at me. I was like, oh, should I mention that one? So I'm not sure if there is anything, and even not the summer, if there's anything the rest of the year, because I know there's a couple that you're excited about.
Oh, I'm really excited. Actually, it's not until November, but I'm really excited about the new Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Yeah,
the trailer just dropped, and it looks awesome.
It looks so good, and I'm a big fan of Mr. Robot, with Rami. So I'm so excited to see him in that role. Like, what do you think? Did you see the trailer?
I did it, and he looks scarily good as
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. He looks so good.
I have a friend actually, he's not in the chat right now though, Patrick. He's a Queen expert, and we're and I know that sounds weird. He wrote a book on Queen, like a chronology on Queen.
That's cool.
It's really cool. So he said it was interesting because I know, like I said to him, you know, I know what Rami is like I know what his voice is like normally, and I know what, you know, how he sounds because I've seen him in interviews and I've seen the show. And then whereas Patrick said he just didn't know what Rami sounded like normally, but he knows what Freddie sounds like. So I said to him, what did you think of his accent? And he said, well, I think he did a really good job, because a lot of people might not know this, but Freddie didn't grow up in England, or he wasn't born. He was actually
Zanzibar, was it?
In Zanzibar, yeah. And he actually tried to get rid of that accent. He tried to downplay the accent. So his accent wouldn't be necessarily, you know, completely British or completely, I think he is Farsi. So it wouldn't be, you know, so he was saying when he was watching it, he not knowing what Rami sounds like, he thought he did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. On a separate, related, or an unrelated but kind of related note to it, Mr. Robot, is it worth watching? After I've seen the first season and it blew my tiny mind.
Oh my god, it's amazing!
But
it's so good.
I heard the second season was terrible. So is it worth?
Really? Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Oh, I don't know. I didn't read that review. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It's kind of like fills in everything that happens. It's sort of a little bit like Westworld. Are you watching Westworld?
I'm not. It's one. I've seen the first episode.
Okay.
And then just not. But I need to. I need to get into it.
Yeah, it just it's like fleshing everything out more. Like that's sort of the best way I could describe it without giving anything away. So they're just sort of like, so if you watch the first season, it's going to just like give you all a bunch of additional information, but really good. Like I thought it was awesome. I loved it. And this non-parallel storytelling it's something that they do, and a lot of shows are doing this now. I've noticed it's sort of the hip new thing to do. Have you noticed that? Like it's kind of like when you saw Pulp Fiction and it was all out of order.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. That's sort of become the new thing to do. Is have this non-linear, non-parallel timeline that they're using. Of course, Westworld does that. Like they do it like in spades, but this is what they were doing with Mr. Robot. So you're not quite sure when something's necessarily happening. Oh my God, are you watching Legion? By the way, speaking of,
I'm so terrible with TV shows. So terrible with TV shows.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to think of it. I can't even. You know, the first season was pretty good because there was some linear stuff going on and some non-linear, but this year it's so abstract. I'm not even sure what's happening.
I thought it's the X-Men show, right? Is it tied into the X-Men? Is that
it's X-Men? Legion is Charles Xavier's son.
Blew my mind. Didn't even know Charles Xavier had a son. I'm gonna have to watch. They
don't even tell you how it all came about. Like it's just like this. They just sort of drop it in. I don't know the original comics, so I don't really know about it. But he has he's kind of like Charles Xavier, but times 10. Like has an incredible amount of power. But how the story starts is that basically his power is untapped, or what do you call it? He doesn't know how to use it. So he thinks he's basically got some kind of mental disorder because he doesn't understand it until he meets people who are sort of trying to help him learn to use his power. But it's just crazy. Like I can't even, my husband and I are watching it together and we look at each other going, what is going on here?
I'm gonna have to get into the show. I'm terrible with TV shows because I obviously constantly go to the cinema.
TV's hard. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing that I find I'm covering Game of Thrones and doing Westworld, but it's hard because it's a series, and whereas a movie you can just watch the movie, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think the only TV show reviews I do is Game of Thrones. I do one when it's on. I started doing Walking Dead for a while, but just the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I know you were doing weekly Game of Thrones sort of wrap up, right? But then you tried to do the Walking Dead, but then you're probably like me. You probably abandon it eventually.
Yeah, I'm still sticking to it, but it was kind of it's kind of like maybe cynical to say, but the views weren't great, and it was like I'm putting all this effort in, and my enthusiasm for the show is waning a little bit. I still love The Walking Dead, but do you watch The Walking Dead? Are you all caught?
I did. I watched it up until last season, and then I watched the first few episodes this season, and then I think I bailed like maybe, with Carl. I bailed with Carl.
Oh, so you watched like the mid-season finale, and then
I bailed with that, and then I just was like, I just couldn't do it anymore. I won't give any guys. I won't give any spoilers there.
Yeah. It was kind of a nice resolution to the series, but it's kind of like they've set a few things up for season 9.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing to do is bow gracefully. I think give it 2 more seasons, let the kind of natural stories that they have. Because I've read the comic. Have you read any of the graphic novels or the comics of Walking Dead?
No.
See, no, I haven't. Amazing. I bought the 2 like compendiums, which are like 500-600 pages. And
yeah, I want to read them. They look really good. And I like the art. I like the art style. I like the art style too.
Yeah, it's the guy. I want to say his name's Charlie Adlard. Lives not a million miles away from me. Lives about 20-30 miles down the road. I've met him, and he's a really cool guy.
Sorry, who have you met?
The original artist for the Walking Dead comic book.
Oh, you're kidding! He lives down the road from you?
Yeah, about 20-30 minutes away. He came into when I was in university. He came in and gave us like a lecture on drawing stuff, and he was really cool.
That is so cool.
My claim to fame is that he drew me as a zombie. I wish I had the picture with me now to show you.
That is really cool. It's funny. My son, he's really into gaming and stuff, and he wrote to the creators of Fanboy and Chum Chum, which is I think it's a show from the States, and gave him an idea for a character, and the guy ended up drawing the character for him and sent it back to him. Isn't that neat?
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we were gonna frame it. But yeah, Leland had an idea for one of the characters, but Leland, my son, wants to get into, he wants to get into game design and stuff. So that was kind of a cool thing for him. I think he had sent the letter, and it took a while to get back, but it's Nickelodeon. Sorry, Nickelodeon. So they were down, and he was like, I said, well, maybe eventually you can go to Nickelodeon has a school for animation. So maybe you can eventually go there and then get a job with Disney or something. I don't know.
That's cool. I say that's cool that they took the time to like get back to him, because as I say, mine was like, he was there in front of me and he couldn't really say no. But the fact that these guys have taken the time to, like, draw the character and send him a letter back, it's pretty cool.
Did he say why zombies? Like, he must have become friends with Eric, who is it again? The
creator? Robert Kirkman.
Yeah, Kirkman. Yeah, so did they become friends, and then he got the job, or did he hire him, or how did that all happen?
I think they worked on a story, if I remember rightly, and I can't remember what the name of the story is, but I remember them. I bought the book, the graphic novel, straight after he talked about it, and it was their first collaboration. It's a story about a guy who finds out that he's only got a certain amount of time to live until he turns into stone or something. I think it's called like Made of Stone, and that was where they first worked together. And I think that they had an artist for The Walking Dead, and he kind of didn't want to do it anymore. So like Robert Kirkman just phoned him up and said, "Yeah, can you draw one of these comics for me?" And he said like 7 years later he's still doing it. He just never said no. You're not going to be the artist anymore. So
wow,
cool. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And he also said he's been a zombie on the show. Just a little bit of trivia.
Oh, yeah. So you got to do like a walk-on or a walk-on role. That's pretty cool. Yeah. No, I really like his art style. It's really cool. So, because he's really, in a way, he's it's like he's like storyboarded the show, right? In a lot of ways, because even the costumes are created. Negan looks a bit different.
Yeah. I noticed they changed Negan, because he had the neck and stuff, and he had that when he got first introduced, and then they have changed his style quite a lot. And
the actor who plays him, he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? And because he used to be he was on Supernatural as well. He played the dad on Supernatural, and he was also, of course, on Grey's Anatomy. If Jason's here, he knows who he is. He's met him. But I was like, when I saw him as Negan, I'm like, oh my God, he's lost so much weight, because Negan's supposed to be kind of a really burly character. And I think he's bald in the comic.
Yeah, he's
as
got.
well.
I'm trying to think of the actor's name.
If anybody knows in the chat, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Dean Morgan,
Thank
that's
you,
it.
the DJ. Oh, that's Patrick. Patrick, I was just talking about you. Mad the DJ is Patrick. Patrick, I was just talking about you to Jamie about. Were you here? Were you here for that, Patrick? When we were talking about the new Queen movie. I don't know if he was here for that. So, Jamie, now what about okay, one movie I'm not looking forward to. It's Mamma Mia. I really hated them. I hated. Okay, why are they doing a sequel to this? Do you know?
Because Mamma Mia is the greatest musical that has ever been made in film history ever. I will fight anybody.
Yeah, and have you seen the musical? Have you seen it?
I've not seen the music. I've seen the first film, which blew me away. Pierce Brosnan is.
You liked it?
Yeah.
I hated it. I'm sorry.
How could you not?
It was so bad. And those guys cannot sing. And actually, Pierce, was that the point, really?
Yeah, it's so bad, it's good.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Skarsgård. I love him and everything pretty much I've seen him in, but he was terrible in that. And Pierce Brosnan was so bad. He was actually better in he did a movie version of Thomas the Tank Engine, and that was better. Where he narrated it. And I was like, wow, Pierce Brosnan, you were better in that. You're supposed to be James Bond and you can't sing worth crap. And it was terrible. And I didn't even see the musical. Like my husband, before we got married, he got invited to go see Mamma Mia, the musical. And I'm like, I'm not going to that. And they were like, really? And I'm like, no. So he went with some other friends. I didn't even go. I was like, I'm not seeing that. So when the movie came out, I saw it and I was like, wow, this is so terrible. So I will not be watching Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Like, I mean, even the title is terrible.
Title's amazing.
Amazingly bad.
Do not see what they've done with it. My, because then the third is going to be called My, How Can I Resist You? It's amazing. It's honestly, I stick by this. Mamma Mia is the best musical ever. You've got Pierce Brosnan, you've got who's the other dude in it? You got Skarsgård, and then there was the third. Oh, Colin Firth, Academy Award winner. Colin Firth.
Colin Firth actually is a decent singer. I've seen him sing. He sang in The Importance of Being Earnest.
I did not know that.
And which is actually a really good movie. He plays Ernest, and he sings in that, and kind of like he's got a voice sort of a little bit like Ewan McGregor. Like he's got a pretty good, decent voice. But in Mamma Mia, it didn't do him any justice.
No.
And I mean, Meryl Streep can sing, but I don't know. It didn't do anything for her, that movie. She just always seemed to be, I don't know. She just seemed to be struggling.
That's because she was struggling. Because she was struggling with the dilemma of her child not knowing who her father is. Heidi, come on.
Yeah, and she, yeah, you're right. And there were three guys. Oh, and then I guess we get to find out in this lovely
who the dad is.
In this prequel how it is that they came together. And like it's supposed to be a prequel. Like they're going to be like, what are they in their 60s now? Like how old is Meryl Streep, for God's sakes?
I don't know. I don't know. In this movie, she's probably like 50, maybe.
She's not going to be able to rock those overalls anymore. Like wearing them with the one strap down.
Just doing all this. I tell you what, I genuinely don't think she's in it. In both trailers, I've not seen her. She could be dead.
Oh. Maybe no, but it's supposed to be how it says here, as the film goes back and forth in time to show you how relationships forged in the past resonate in the present. James will play the role of they're gonna have someone else come in and play the young versions of them.
It's have you seen Downton Abbey?
Oh yeah, I love Downton Abbey.
Yeah, Lily James. I don't know who she plays in, but she was in Baby Driver and
oh okay.
She's gonna be the young Sophia, I think it is.
Oh okay.
The young Meryl Streep character.
Big time pass.
Heidi.
No Academy Awards.
It doesn't have to. It's all about people.
Don't pass go directly to jail.
It's going to be amazing.
Do not collect $200. No,
definitely
be
rolling in the aisles.
Okay, well, you can enjoy that. You can
I will.
enjoy that over in Wales, Jamie.
I'm gonna love
But
it.
in Canada, I'm gonna be like
dancing.
sitting in my backyard having a margarita.
That's Joe, and I'm gonna record a video just for you, and I'm gonna sing all the hits. And I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh yeah, will you do like a compilation for me? That'll be awesome. Like a mixtape.
Joe, I'll do it in the style of Pierce Brosnan, Colin Firth, Skarsgård. You can have them all.
Oh my stars. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So what else? Oh, okay. Now, one of the movies you and I were talking about, this is coming out in I'm skipping a bit here, August, is The Meg. Now, you said to me it could be really terrible, but it could be bad, good too, right? Like it could be like, if anybody doesn't know what it is, it's basically supposed to be like a megalodon or something, like a supersized shark movie. Like, is it a megalodon? Is that what the Meg is?
I think it's just a big old shark. I think
a big old shark, and Jason Statham's in it. Anything with Jason Statham is always good.
If this movie does not end with him having a fist fight underwater with this shark,
he should punch the shark in the nose.
Exactly. All he'd have to do is look at him and speak to him. And that's it. The shark would be off.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, it is a megalodon. It says it's a 75-foot long shark known as a megalodon, which is like a prehistoric shark. That's what that is. So it's been lurking. It's been like, I don't know, it's been in a cave or something for all this time. And it just like, I don't know, this set up a deep sea submersible part of an international undersea observation program has been attacked by a massive creature previously thought to be extinct. It has all the makings for a great summer movie, don't you think?
Exactly.
That would be a good one to go see at a drive-in.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you have drive-ins in Wales?
We don't.
Is that like an American thing?
It really is, and there's a town a couple of towns over from me that they do it occasionally, but they always show like terrible films, or they show like films that you wouldn't want to go and see at a drive-in. I think the last one they did, not that it's a terrible film, it's a great movie. They did Toy Story, but it's like, do you really want to go see Toy Story at a drive-in?
Yeah, it needs to be a block. I think it needs to be a blockbuster. See, where my husband grew up, there is a twin drive-in, so you can go and there's you could. So basically, it's like double feature. So at dark, I think at 9 or 10 is when they start it, and then there's a double feature, and then there's 2 screens. So it's pretty good. Like you could go see, and then they change it every week. So you could basically go to the drive-in every weekend if you want. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go. I think
and then in Canada, what we do is you park your car, and then you get out of your car. You don't watch the movie in your car. You get lawn chairs and blankets, and then as long as it's not bug season, and then you set up and you watch the movie that way. And then when the kids get tired, you throw them in the trunk or whatever. You throw them in their sleeping bags or whatever, or they can pass out, And then of course, young people probably bring alcohol. That's what they do.
And they got a make out point.
They probably make out. And some people lie on top of the car. That's the other thing people do. They lie on the front of the car. And that's Americana.
That is. And do you know what would be a great movie to see on a drive-in?
What?
Mamma Mia, here we go again. Everybody up dancing. Margaritas flying around.
Oh my God. And is it set in Greece again? Are they going to set it in Greece, or are they going to have another tropical location?
No, it's Greece. It's back to Greece.
It has to be Greece.
Oh, it has to be. That whole production crew have just gone away on a 6-month holiday to Greece, thinking we are making a terrible film here.
Oh, you know what?
Just got a free holiday.
Yeah, no, you know what? I Lemon says that she'd like to, or they want to see The Shining at a drive-in. That would be a good movie to see at the drive-in. Yeah, and The Shining's sort of been making a bit. It keeps popping up. It's such a reference film, right? It just keeps. My son wants to see it, and I said to him, okay, maybe when I think I told him he had to wait till he's 14.
What do you think? A good age.
What is a good age to see that? It's a little bit scary.
It's not. It's mild peril. You look back now, and it's not terrifying.
But the scene where he's smashing through the door, and and the blood, and then there is that woman in the bathtub.
Yeah, the crazy old lady.
The crazy, yeah. So, someone says, Sharknado was dumb but good. Oh, that Aaron says that. Yeah, Sharknado. Have you seen that? It's just great.
Sharknado's great.
It's like Snakes on a Plane or something. It's sort of like you just turn or Piranha 3D, or you just sort of shut your mind off.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be terrible, and that's like kind of the point they got to now. I think they're on like Sharknado 7 or something. It's like they're just trying to make purposely bad films now, but they're making it.
Yeah, but anyway, so
bucket full of money.
the Meg could be a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah, it looks pretty funny. It's got Rainn Wilson is in it from The Office, and he looks like
yeah,
like
absolutely,
a lighthearted character in it. So I think it's not taking itself too seriously. It's like,
absolutely.
We know we're making a film about a giant shark.
Oh, now the one I want to talk about, and I saw you had a video about this. I'm dying to hear this from you. Okay, so Happy Time Murderers. Have you seen the trailer?
I watched it. I didn't know much about it until today, until this news broke. But I watched the trailer for it today, and it looks all right.
Yeah. Okay. So if anybody hasn't seen it, it's coming out August 17th. So this is the description. Okay, everybody, hold on here. Okay, the Happy Time Murderers, no sesame, all street. Have you heard that slogan? Okay. Happy I know. So the Happy Time Murderers is a filthy comedy set in the seedy underbelly of Los Angeles where puppets and humans coexist. So it's kind of like, did you ever see Peter Jackson's Meet the Feebles?
No, but that sounds really impressive.
It's one of his early, if anybody, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson, famous, he's New Zealand, I think, director. He did this, like, I went on this bender with him, and I didn't literally go on a bender with Peter Jackson. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. No, I went back and watched all of his movies, like all of his original movies, and some of them are hilarious, and some of them are really disgusting. But anyway, so what it was is basically it's Muppets. The entire movie is Muppets, like a Muppet type universe, but it's filthy. It's like filthy dirty. So this is what I think has happened here. And this is actually being directed by Jim Henson's son.
Yes.
So what I want to know is you had a video. Tell me what's going on.
This is where the big controversies come. So obviously the amazing slogan, all no sesame, all street.
Yeah.
And by the way, I didn't realize until today, making that news video, how much of a hard word sesame is to spell. I spelled it wrong about 1,000 times today. It's deceiving. There's too many.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because it's actually SES or same. You could think. Same.
That shows for kids. Don't make a word that is so hard to spell for kids.
No, I know it's weird, right? It is weird. I have problems with words like that all the time. Thank God for spell check. That's all I can say. So anyway, so what's the controversy? So
obviously, the slogan for this movie is "No Sesame, all street."
Yeah,
it's still amazing. So obviously, this is like plastered all over like all of the posters.
They're marketing it. I think it's even in the trailer, right? Yeah. So that's causing some problem. What happened?
So basically, Sesame Street. I think it's Sesame Workshop, the studio that owns Sesame Street now. They're clearly not happy about this. So they've sued STX, who the company that have made the distributing company that have made the movie. It's basically a cease and desist, but it's not a cease and desist. They just want all kind of reference of Sesame Street out of this movie. And they're suing for some sort of damages. They haven't disclosed the figure, but you can imagine it's going to be in the millions. And this is where the kind of controversy comes, is because it's Jim Henson's son that's directing. Obviously, the Jim Henson production company is part of both Sesame Street and
like the Muppets and stuff too, right?
And the Happy Time Murders. So it's almost like they help set up Sesame Street, so they kind of have a right to do it. And this is basically what STX have said. STX aren't backing down at all. They're just kind of like, we're just going to.
But at the same time, like Sesame Street has a brand that they're trying to protect, and I was actually shocked when I saw that they did that, because I thought that I'm like, oh my God, like it's PBS. I mean, even though they're not owned by PBS, but it's on PBS, and it's a children's show, and they have a brand to protect, obviously. And then, but like, whereas Peter Jackson, when he did the one that he did, it didn't really have any ties to anything in Hollywood. Like, even though we had puppets, you could have said
it was just puppets.
It was puppets, but they didn't look like Henson puppets, or because he had life-size life-sized ones as well, and which I think they probably might have that in this as well, like Big Bird and that type of thing. But did you see the very end of the trailer?
Is this the he's seeing a client thing?
You seeing a client, yeah, and they're using silly string.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody?
It's a bit weird,
if anybody wants to see a really funny, filthy trailer, you have to watch the Happy Time Murders trailer. Yeah, I don't know. My husband's like, "How do you have to watch this?" And of course, I watched it. And I fist myself laughing. I was like, I mean, it's a visual gag, but I just thought it was funny. I mean, I love me a bathroom humor. Like, what is it? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Is except I can't remember the name. It's a National Lampoon movie, though. And Animal House, obviously, but no, there's another one. Oh, Van Wilder is one of my favorite movies of all time. Which, of course, it's funny because when you see Ryan Reynolds in that, you're like, oh my God, like you could totally see how he ended up doing Deadpool. Because he just has this amazing comic timing. He's so funny in that movie. So if I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but there's some major like bathroom humor in it, which my college roommate, she used to just always laugh at me saying, "Oh my God, Heidi, you just have the worst sense of humor." But any kind of potty humor, I'm always like on board for, like Dumb and Dumber. I always love that kind of stuff, like anything to do with X-Lax or whatever. Like, I just think that stuff's a riot.
Just love a bit of filth. My perception.
I love a bit of filth.
My perception is changing, Heidi. I thought you were going to say you love like really like all these romantic comedies and dramas and filth. That's what I like. Good bit of filth. No. I tend to, yeah. Well, it's funny because years ago, my favorite movies were martial arts movies. I used to watch all these martial arts movies like Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's funny because there's a parody of, I think he's got a new show out or something. Or Jean-Claude Van Johnson. Jean-Claude Van Johnson, yeah. So, where he's like he's out of work or something. He's an out of work actor or something. But he has to, yeah. So I went through this stage where I watched like all these Steven Seagal movies. And he's so gross, right? Like, but I did. I watched all these like Under Siege, and then I watched every Jackie Chan movie and every and I just was like, I was obsessed, and it was just so. All my friends would be watching like all of these romantic comedies and stuff, and I would just be like, oh no, there's a new Steven Seagal movie. There's this new Steven Seagal movie coming out. And they were so bad, and then I just went through this stage where I was just into that, and then like I said, I was into Quentin Tarantino, and then I can't get past Steven Seagal. They're so bad. They're so bad. Like, seriously, I even like video. What's that? Can I request a video? Can I have the costumes of Steven Seagal? Which movie? Like Under Siege, where he's like the chef. Every movie, like a compilation. I want a ranking list of every single Steven Seagal movie. Every costume. Yeah, and he used to be married to Kelly. Like she was like a supermodel, and but yeah, he is all kind of wrong, like that guy. Doesn't he live in like Russia now or something? Like he's like an undercover Russian cop or something weird on this. He's just, I don't know. There's something wrong. I think there's something definitely going on with him. He's just, I don't know. He's been in a lot of trouble. Like I think he's been charged with domestic violence but this is going back a ways, right? Like I would have been in my 20s when I was doing this, now, of course, I only watch intelligent, movies that we have at film festivals. So, like my husband works at our film. We have a film festival every year in Toronto called TIFF, and my husband works it every year. And then he'll say, "Oh, this movie was at TIFF. We should watch it." And I'll be like, "Nah, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that movie. I'd rather watch, some trashy comedy or something instead." You can't beat a trashy comedy from time to time. I mentioned this in my I did a Q&A video, and I don't know why, but have you seen I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, the Adam Sandler movie? Sorry, which one is it? I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. No, I haven't seen it. It's a terrible film. It's awful. But like when I was like 16, 17, I used to go out and we used to go like camping, which is code word over here for like going out and drinking in a field till like 4 in
Oh
the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
And I used to come out and watch that film every time I'd go out and get drunk. Just I don't know why. It's
Wow.
my go-to movie. But yeah, you just can't beat a good old bad, terrible comedy from time to time.
Yeah, like my girlfriend and I, we basically we decided at one point we were going to watch every movie that Bill Murray had been in. We did. We watched every Bill Murray movie, and you know it was so satisfying. Like it was really good, and not his like later stuff, not this, you know, not the Wes Anderson stuff.
Yeah, the intelligent stuff. Yeah,
Not the intelligent stuff, but the early stuff, like you know, Stripes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters. But no, we watched some of his early stuff, but it was, and then we watched all Chevy Chase's movies. We basically went through like, you know, and I think, and I actually did go through a stage where I think I watched almost every Adam Sandler movie, but I don't know that one. So I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's terrible, but it's terrible, but it's great at the same time. It's just Adam Sandler all over. He's so terrible that he's good.
Yeah, he was so good in Punch Drunk Love, though, don't you think?
It's amazing. I've still got a little soft. I know he's terrible. I've got a soft spot for Adam Sandler. Have you seen on an Adam Sandler related movie note? What's it called? Reign Over Me.
No, I haven't. No, is it? How old is it?
I want to say about 10, 15 years or so.
Oh, really?
But,
okay. No.
But it's Adam Sandler in a serious role, and it shouldn't work, but it does. It's Adam Sandler. I think it's Don Cheadle, and it's based around 9/11, where Adam Sandler like lost all his family in 9/11 in the terror attacks, and Don Cheadle's like his old school friend, and he tries to like reconnect with him because Adam Sandler's become like quite a recluse and doesn't really have any kind of social interaction. And it's a really kind of sweet film actually. I think Liv Tyler's in it as well. I think she plays a psychiatrist or something. But there's like one scene in that movie, and I remember the first time I saw it, and it was Adam Sandler, and like he breaks down crying. It's not a spoiler, I don't think, but he breaks down crying, and I started crying. So I never thought Adam Sandler could make me cry, but he's like surprisingly good as a more like dramatic, serious actor.
Yeah, so I think he is. It's interesting. You know, I met him years ago. I met him twice.
Please tell me he was nice. I want him to be nice. I hope he was nice.
He was so nice. He's probably like, you know, because I used to work in the restaurant industry when I was in college. So I met a lot of celebrities like just through the restaurant industry. So I was hostessing at this restaurant, and he came, actually they called me ahead of time and they said, oh, you know, we have this guy, is it okay if we can get him in? And he's from Saturday Night Live, and he said it's Adam Sandler. And I had actually seen Adam Sandler do stand-up in Toronto when he at Second City, or no, it was one of the comedy clubs in Toronto. And so he was actually really great, like really funny. And then, so I went up to him and I'm like, oh, hi, you know, I saw your show. And he was so lovely to me and everything. And then he came back again, like maybe a couple of months later. And I said, oh, I don't know if you remember me. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I absolutely do. How are you doing? And just a really nice guy. And, just really down to earth, really humble. A lot of these people are, I find, like
it's usually the people around them that aren't humble.
Yeah,
it's usually their team, as it were, that I kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. I've really, you know, a few. I mean, I've worked in film and TV too. So I just, you know, I find a lot of them are, you know, really, really nice and nice people. But there are some that like I usually.
Are you going to name and shame?
I would get, no, I don't have to, but when I worked in film, I would get reports on certain people who were apparently really, really terrible. And the one that was apparently really bad was Kirstie Alley. I never worked with her, but apparently she was a nightmare to work with. So I guess I am naming and shaming.
Is this Kirstie Alley as in Look Who's Talking, Kirstie Alley?
Look Who's Talking and Cheers. Yeah, she was doing a movie here. She was apparently just a nightmare. I heard this from the wardrobe. You know, usually the thing with wardrobe, this is the one thing a lot of people don't know, is that when I was saying this, a lot of times actors don't have a lot of control over their situations. So the one place they can kind of be mean is with wardrobe people.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. So I've had some people be pretty terrible to me in the past. Most of them aren't. Most of them have been really lovely, but they usually, it's to be honest with you, it's usually people like the bigger stars usually are the most professional. It's usually the smaller people who are still kind of really insecure in their work and so on, that tend to be a little bit more mean and not very nice to you. But I've worked with a few big people, and And they've usually been really, really nice. So, but yeah, so I was really happy about Adam Sandler. I never got to meet him, but Robert Downey Jr. came into my restaurant one time, and then they didn't tell me until later. I'm like, what? Why did you tell me Robert Downey Jr. was here? And this is before he was, of course, in Iron Man, but he was still a big star.
Yeah.
Because he had done, he's been around for a long time. I just wanted to, there was a few, Jamie, I don't know if you've been looking at the comments.
I haven't. I looked about 10 minutes ago and I got lost. I can just see a lot of Porg related.
Porg series.
Comments.
Porg to raise hell or born. These guys are hilarious. Oh, and I want to say hi to 30 Day Reviews is here. He's do you know him? He's one of the creators. He's oftentimes in Nick's stream.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he has so his channel, what he does is he takes a product and he tries it out for 30 days and then he does a product review on it.
That sounds awesome.
It's a really great idea, I think, for a channel. The creators of Sesame Street sued Brian Henson over that film. Oh, that's what Cardinal Doomsday was saying. Yeah. Jamie has a video about that on his channel, guys. So if you want to check out what he says. Aaron says, no, I can't stop singing Mamma Mia soundtrack. Why, Heidi? Why? Yes. Laugh out loud. Well, I love ABBA. Don't get me wrong. I love ABBA. That was one of my first albums I owned when I was a kid.
But Heidi, do you know what's better than ABBA? What's better than ABBA? Pierce Brosnan singing ABBA.
Oh my God. Oh my God. See, that would, in I don't think this is a spoiler, but in The Walking Dead, when they put people in that closet and they play Happy Street or whatever it's called. Yeah. Is it called Happy Street?
Yeah, we're living here. That's Easy Street. We're living here on Easy Street.
Well, what torture would be is if you played a Pierce Brosnan singing ABBA in just that.
On repeat.
And I was just like, oh my God, he's just the worst. I couldn't believe. I'm like, did they not audition him to see?
It's Pierce Brosnan.
I did a show years ago where I don't think they told the actors that they were going to have to do some singing in the show. And one of the actors, I don't think he knew he couldn't sing. He was tone deaf. He didn't know. And it was so bad. It was just like, it's really weird, but most actors can sing. It's just a strange thing. So when they can't, it's usually because they're tone deaf. I think because most actors can sing because they have to be trained like in vocalization. So oftentimes singing comes into that as well. And it was just awful. So sorry, Aaron. Sorry, it doesn't mean I don't love ABBA. And everyone's going on Porgs on a plane.
I know. I don't know what happened.
You guys are hilarious.
I don't know why
Porgnado. That would be funny.
Porg off. I can see as well.
Not a single thing wrong with Tarantino movies, says 30 Days. Oh, I don't know. Was someone saying there was? I went through a film festival stage in my mid-20s to mid-30s, says Cardinal Doomsday. Yeah. Nothing beats the Burbs movie. Oh, is that the one with Tom Hanks? Did you ever see that? Fletch. Yeah, Vacation. Those are some Chevy Chase movies. This is kind of a random throwout, but have any of you seen Jawbreaker? Jamie, have you seen that? Jawbreaker?
Jawbreaker.
Aaron, what year is that from? That's from Aaron. Nicolas Cage is the Porg master. That's another thing. Any movie with Nick Cage is a good movie. Like Jack and I watched, the one where he's on a motorcycle and he's like Satan or something. What is it?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Yeah, I actually thought those were pretty good movies.
Yeah, Ghost Rider's pretty good. When he used to hold the heads and then he'd look into their souls.
Yeah. I kind of like that. Aaron says I loved him in Face Off. Did you ever see Face Off? That's a John Woo movie. And John Travolta. John Travolta.
Yeah, that was great.
Face Off, like they switched faces.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
It's not like they switch complete characters. No, they switch just faces.
They switch complete characters as well. Yeah. Adam Sandler has good taste playing Shadow of the Colossus in Reign Over Me. I don't know what that is.
I think that's a
Reign Over Porgs. Been listening to you guys. Hope you do another live stream soon. Oh, that's so nice.
Stop it. Who said that?
Stop. Blumhouse version of Halloween looks good. I don't know what that is. Blumhouse version of Halloween.
That's it. This is the
that's Dean Morris. Hi, Dean.
Heidi, Heidi. Yeah, it's my mind's gone blank. But John Carpenter, John Carpenter's
Oh,
had
John Carpenter. Anything.
yes.
Oh, by the way, anything John Carpenter is good. Even the Vampires movie.
Was it just
With
called The Vampire?
the Vampire. Is it just Vampire?
I don't know. I've not seen
And
it.
Cheryl.
Halloween's the John Carpenter movie I think I've
Yeah,
seen.
anything John Carpenter is awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite though is The Thing. The Thing is my
yes,
favorite.
The Thing as well. That's John Carpenter as well. That's
Yeah.
the end.
Oh, Tatiana's back. She's taking a break from the wedding. She says, this most likely had nothing to do with anything, but Heidi, we still have to plan out our video chat. Yes, Tatiana's going to come on my stream at some point. And she says, also, rest in peace, dear Princess Leia. Oh, do you mean Carrie Fisher? I think she means Carrie Fisher. Because Carrie Fisher was in The Burbs.
Yes, I think someone was just
mentioning
mentioning
Did you ever see that? The Burbs with Tom Hanks?
No, I need
such
to.
A crazy...
That's an odd...
It's such a strange, it's just a really strange movie. Like it came out and it didn't really fit in. Like I couldn't figure out, it's supposed to be kind of a comedy, but it's not. Like it's a really strange movie. Kind of like Joe versus the Volcano. It was just sort of like,
I have to check out The Burbs.
What? Okay. Now I haven't seen, Jack is the one who mentioned this movie to me. That looks really interesting. I haven't seen the trailer for it, but Destination Wedding is coming out August 24th. And why it looks good is it says Destination Wedding tells the story of two miserable and unpleasant wedding guests, both pariahs at this affair, who develop a mutual affection despite themselves. But to act on those feelings would be to trust hope over experience, a foolish choice indeed. So if I had read that, I'd be like, I'm not going to see that. That sounds stupid. But it's with Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder.
Exactly. Did you say you've not seen the trailer for this yet?
I haven't seen the trailer.
Right. This was the one out of the list you sent me. This is the one I'd completely not heard of, and I watched the trailer for it just before we come on the stream.
Yeah.
I am so into this movie. It looks amazing.
But because I was like, I said so Jack had seen it, and I said, I'm just curious, like, does anyone in the chat know, has Winona Ryder ever done a movie with Keanu Reeves?
Ooh.
I don't think that they have. And I mean, of course, I'm like, so she's had a bit of a resurgence in her career because of Stranger Things. And she, if anybody doesn't know that she had, she'd gotten into some trouble, like shoplifting. And
I was absolute travesty that woman went away because of shoplifting. It is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, and she, obviously there was obviously some mental health issues going on. And I've always she's always been like a brilliant actor. Like, I think if her career hadn't been derailed, she probably would have, be an Oscar winner. Honestly, I think so.
She should be for Mr. Deeds. Let's give her for Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, and then Mr. Deeds. Yeah, exactly.
I watched that movie last week and it's amazing.
Yeah. And then Keanu Reeves. I mean, oh my God, everyone loves Keanu Reeves.
John Wick himself.
Exactly. Have you seen? There's a really funny, Funny or Die, where basically they're interrogating him, Funny or Die guys, and they think he's They think he's another actor, and they keep asking him questions, and he's like, "No, I'm Keanu Reeves." And then finally he says, they're accusing him of being this other person, and he's like, they say that he's from another country. He's like, "No, I'm from Canada," which is like rare for an actor to admit that they're from Canada. Well, he's not even technically from Canada. I think he was born in Hawaii, and they lived in Canada for a while, but. Anyways, it's hilarious. It's really funny. I'll have to find it. I'll have to send you the link.
Send me the link. It sounds pretty good.
But so what is the tone of that movie then, of Destination Wedding? I didn't see the trailer.
It just is like the most melancholy, like mundane comedy, but it's amazing. There's like the very like first little scene in the trailer is they stood next to each other at an airport and they're just chatting, and like Keanu Reeves takes a step away. And Winona Ryder just goes, "What are you doing?" And he just goes, "I want to go over there because I don't want to talk to you anymore." And I thought I'm so sold.
Yeah. So they're both sort of like they're not very good with social interaction or social situations. They're kind of both awkward individuals. Is that right?
Yeah. I think as it happens, they just both go into the same wedding, and that's what puts them together.
Oh yeah. So then they sort of end up talking at the wedding and so on. Yeah,
and they're like, I think they're put on a table together because they're the two people that everybody knows nobody wants to talk to, so they stick them together, and that's how their kind of friendship blossoms. But it just looks like a different type of rom-com, and it looks really kind of fun. And
yeah, see, I've been a huge Keanu Reeves fan for years. Like, I've loved him, and it was funny because years ago I did summer stock theater, and I worked with this woman. She was the our stage manager, and Keanu Reeves had come to Canada, to Manitoba, to do a Shakespearean play in Winnipeg, and she was the stage manager on the show, right? of this play that Keanu Reeves was doing. And I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I love him. Like, he's always been told, everyone's always said what a terrible actor is. And okay, I will give it that he was pretty bad in Bram Stoker's Dracula. He was pretty bad in that, but he's been really good in a lot of other movies. Like, he was great in Point Break. I thought he was great in, obviously, The Matrix, the original Matrix. I was sort of like, that was like the perfect role for him, I think. Because sorry, go ahead.
So I was going to say, I think John Wick was better. But
no, John Wick is definitely better. And I think this is what it is, because he always sort of had that Bill and Ted type of, apparently they're doing a movie of that again. Have you heard that?
The Bill and Ted 3, Bill and Ted
3. Yeah.
All original screenwriters, original director, everybody is better.
Yeah, because I think that because he always sort of had that Valley Boy, I don't even know what you call it, California surfer dude kind of, that was hard for him to shake that. And but yeah, no, John Wick is perfect for him, I think, because first of all, he's got amazing skill set regarding like just doing martial arts and action movies. Like, I think he's just he's really worked really, really hard. And apparently he's just the nicest person you could meet. Like, he's apparently just really lovely. So
it does seem really good. There was all those stories that came out about 2 years ago where he was just like riding the subway train in New York and like spent like far longer than he should have just chatting to people. Like, he missed like 4 stops or something. He was just chatting away on the train to people, taking photos. And I thought he just seems like a really nice guy. Yeah.
So, anyway, so I'm really looking forward to seeing that movie. It will be interesting to see, because he hasn't done kind of like a quiet movie for a while. Like, it's most of his movies like I love John Wick. I mean, I think it's, I've seen both of them. They're so, hopefully they'll do another one.
They are. It comes out in like a year. John, I don't know what it's going to be about. What? In
a year. Yeah, let's just see if we missed any movie. Oh, okay. What about Slender Man? There's no poster, no trailer that I could find for that.
I've seen one little teaser trailer.
Yeah. So I was confused because I guess they did a documentary about Slender Man 2 years ago.
Yes. Beware the Slender Man.
Yeah. So this is actually going to be, just about the meme or whatever. It's going to be a realization, like, sort of like, what did they go? They're fleshing it out kind of thing.
Yeah. It's from what I've seen. I say there's a very small trailer online, and there's like a girl with some stuff coming out of her mouth, some black bits, and then there's like, I don't know, it's really hard to describe because it's so odd. It's such a short trailer.
Yeah, well, it says it's gonna have a limited run, like it's not going to be in all theaters, I guess.
I thought this was going to get like a big release. I thought they were going to try and like bill it as like a big franchise thing.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, it would seem to, because you'd think there would be a big
there's like an
interest in it.
Yeah.
Now, what about Skyscraper? That's coming out July 13th. What's that? Do you know what that is? I didn't see this.
Yes. Yeah. This is basically Die Hard meets Tower and Inferno with The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock. Yeah. So, if anybody is as old as me, like back in the 70s, we had like disaster movies were the really big thing, right? Towering Inferno, and we had Earthquake. And actually, it's funny because when I went to Orlando, Florida. Like, I went to the Universal Studios, and it was so great. Like, they had a Back to the Future ride, which was so cool. Like, we went on it like a dozen times because it wasn't that busy, so we kept going on it over and over again. But they had an earthquake ride as well, which was really cool. So basically, you're on a train, and then you go into a tunnel, and then all of a sudden, like, the whole ceiling caves in, and then there's like fire, like that just sort of, it was a really, really cool, almost like a, what do you call it? Not really as much of a ride, but more like an immersive sort of experience, that type of thing. So we're due for a good disaster movie, right? So is
Yeah.
that what it? So that's sort of, and then The Rock is the hero, and he's really good, eh? I think everything
Love The
again I've
Rock.
seen him in. Like, okay, we Jamie, I don't know if you saw this movie and reviewed it, but but a Baywatch movie.
Oh, Baywatch.
Okay, well, we were like, it got such bad reviews, right? But we're like, okay, let's just watch it, and it kind of makes fun of itself, really,
Yeah,
right?
it's almost so, it's one of those, it's so bad, it's good.
It's so bad, it's kind of good. So
it's one of those trashy, like
yeah,
raunchy, over the
but
top comedies
I
we've talked
mean,
about before.
like when he's out like the Tooth Fairy. Like my kids love that movie. They just loved it. Anyways, he's always so good. I love him. So I will definitely see that movie. And I think, like I said, it's again a good popcorn movie. Maybe something like, again, you could go see that at the drive-in if you have drive-ins, guys, and or a big screen. Like it, for sure you want to see that probably on a big screen, not on TV, or don't rent it or wherever people do nowadays. What do people do nowadays?
Stream, like
yeah.
Netflix
We actually like we have, I think it's like in we get this thing like Amazon Prime, which is, in Canada you can order stuff and then they ship it to you for free or whatever. So you can rent movies through that. So we sometimes do that because you get it for like 24 hours, I think.
Yeah, we get saying we get Prime instant video
Prime.
of it.
Instant video. Yeah.
Yeah, and Netflix, they're probably
Netflix is the other. Netflix is pretty good. Like at one point, Netflix used to be. They didn't get stuff for like 2 years, but now it's much faster.
Instant.
Yeah. So like I remember when in Canada, Netflix Canada got the Hunger Games like pretty much like right away. Like as soon as it came to video, they got it. And so yeah, so I'm noticing that a lot of movies that I'm not able, like, so I watch Baywatch, for instance, on so it's a good way to, and obviously series television.
Yes.
So what other videos have you done recently? Like what other reviews have you done recently of movies that you thought were really good that you can tell people maybe to check out?
Good question. I'm trying to think of like non-blockbuster movies that people should go and check out, because obviously like everybody does blockbusters. There was one movie I saw, and it was maybe a couple of months ago now. I think it was a really, like, I don't think it was a low budget British film, but it was called Ghost Stories. And it's based on a play by Andy Nyman, and I can't remember this other guy. And it's basically, it tells these three stories. There's this like old paranormal investigator who, these are the three cases that he's never been able to solve. So this guy comes in and tries to disprove the theory of ghosts and says, well, if you want to prove that ghosts aren't real, then, you have to prove that these three stories aren't real, because I've been doing this 50 years and I've never been able to prove that it was anything but ghosts. And it's such a trippy film. It was like, it was mind blowing. Like some of the things that happen in it, like the constructs and concepts of reality are constantly being changed. And it's seriously one of my favorite films I've seen this year, and probably would make it onto my top 10 list.
Sorry, what's it called? I'm gonna look it up.
It's called Ghost Stories.
I'll put a link in the description then, if anybody wants to check it out.
Check out the trailer.
Ghost Stories.
Martin Freeman's in it.
Oh, Morgan Freeman. Okay.
Martin Freeman, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Martin Freeman. Oh, Martin Freeman. I like him.
Yeah, he's
in what do you call it? Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His little dodgy American accent.
I thought he did a pretty good job.
It was all right. It was better than what I thought it was going to be.
I thought he actually did a pretty good job. One of the things that I find when sometimes when people attempt to do, they tend to clip it. This is what I find. When a Brit tries to do an American accent, they tend to clip it. They don't pull it out all the way. I don't know if that makes sense.
Slightly.
They sort of snap it off. I think Americans and Canadians tend to draw out the words a bit more. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe somebody who's not British would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, I didn't.
Or you're Welsh.
I'm Welsh.
Oh, well, yes. So what have you got coming up in the next little while, Jamie? I know that you, like, I saw you in in the Tube Ritual group, you were talking about how now you're going to be doing more, not just reviews, but you're going to be doing sort of behind the scenes and that type of thing as well.
Yeah, I did. Well, I've recently just done a good. It was like I say it was 2-year Q&A video, which was a little bit more kind of like this, a little bit more lighthearted, not as intense movie, which is quite nice. And then moving forward, good question. I try not to spoil a video because I don't want to spoil a film for people. But I'm going to be talking about Solo. I'm going to talk about the end of Solo.
Oh yeah.
Like a little theory video.
Yeah,
about...
so you're going to be doing some like explanation. Those are my favorite type of videos, by the way. When people do explanation videos, because a lot of times I'll watch something and I'll be like, I don't know what's going on here, and I'll go have to watch several explanation videos.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see it? Did you ever see Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson? Did you ever see that one where she's like an alien?
Oh no, this is a different film, I think.
Under the Skin, and she kind of goes around and picks up men.
No, I don't think.
Oh my God, you have to see it, Jamie. It's really, really good. Actually, it was at the film festival, and Jack says to me, "You have to see this movie. It was at the film festival," and I'm like, "No." And then I don't know. One day I decided to watch it anyway. And because he had said, if you like Stranger Things, you might like it. There was something about they have kind of like a version of the Upside Down. So I watched it, and it's just a total mind fuck, like seriously. So I had to watch several of those explanation videos after, just so I could figure out, like someone was telling me that about Westworld. They have to watch like all these breakdown analysis after, just so you need like a flow chart, just so you can kind of figure out what's happening. You have to be like, but anyway, that was a really, really good movie. So you're going to be doing more of those types of analysis or ending explanations and things like that.
Kind of. I did it with Infinity War, and I really enjoyed it. It was like a video of like 5 questions I have after watching Avengers. I quite like doing it, so I said there was a couple of things in Solo that were there's a specific thing in Solo that happens, and I thought, oh well, why not make a video about that and see what people think about it as well. So yeah, that, more movie reviews and more news videos. I'm quite enjoying doing the news videos at the minute. So
that's awesome. So how often are you doing those?
This week it's been more or less daily, but usually at least one every 2 days, depending on how big the news is. It's just been quite nice this week. There's been 4 or 5 big news stories continually after the other to report on. But it's quite nice because I always find, like with a film review, I don't know if you find this, but you've kind of got to be a bit, it's quite hard to put your personality on a film review, because you've kind of got to get the points across that you want to make. Whereas with making a news video, it can be a bit more, as long as you get the information across, you can be a little bit more lighthearted and fun with it, and kind of take a lighthearted look at what's going on in the world.
I find it's a little bit harder on my analysis ones, because it has to be mostly scripted. I have to script it, because I have to just get, like you say, I have to get those key points. Whereas in the live streams, I kind of enjoy it because I just sort of talk, and it's really, I had mentioned to you before we started this that it was going to be pretty conversational and relaxed and everything. And I kind of enjoy that. Whereas the videos are more, really structured. Yeah. And so I don't get to be myself as much, really. And also because, I know I'm thinking, oh, someone might be watching this a year from now. So I kind of want to keep it, fairly straight. Yeah. And so anyways, what do you think? How did you feel about doing the stream today? Will you come back?
I would love to come back if you'll have me. If the people will have me. Whoever
they'll have you.
I know, yeah. I don't know who said before that they want to see more of us, but I'll have to pay them off later.
No, they're a good group. I'm really lucky. Like someone was talking about the other day about he had a troll in his stream. And I'm like, really? I said, we've never had one. Also, I've got Aaron here too, to kind of keep things in control. Although I don't know Aaron, I don't even know if you know how to even get rid of somebody if you had to. You may not even know. The hammer. But so this guy was saying this, and I said, I actually, it was funny today. I had someone comment on one of my videos today, on one of my Daenerys videos, that I said a bunch of names wrong. which is like my Game of Thrones videos. I'm so bad for this. Like I cannot say people's names correctly. You know, I get them wrong. And so she said something like, oh, I really like this video, except that you get all these names wrong, right? So, so I said, yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I'm trying to do better. Like in my in my more recent videos, I'm trying to just, you know, do a good job and try to get the names right. Except, I mean, there's the odd one, like there's the Zaros Denix. I don't know. It's a crazy name. It's this guy from Karth. I couldn't say this guy's name to save my life. You know what I mean? And I honestly think that George Martin might have come up with that name just to mess with everybody because because it's a ridiculous name. I don't know where he got it. Zorodoxus. If anybody in the chat knows, I mean, sorry. So anyways, but then she came back and she's like, oh, I feel so bad about, I feel so bad that I was kind of mean to you. And, you know, like, oh, don't feel bad. You know, I'm like, oh, no, don't feel bad. Like I said, other people have called me out. Actually, I had one girl who, she's on Twitter. She follows me. We follow each other on Twitter. And she actually helped me with some of the pronunciation. She was like, Heidi, you can't say these names, we're shit. So she sort of tried to explain to me how, you know, here, so she broke them down for me phonetically. And then I tried to practice them over and over, you know, but it was sort of, I was almost wearing it like a badge of honor. Hey, you know, I can't say any Game of Thrones names properly. And so I actually have a video coming out today, and I was like going, I think it's Bravos. So I'm probably going to get some.
You're going to get all the hate.
I'm going to, but what I'm trying to say is that I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had too many issues. I've only had a few people who don't like my accent or something. And I usually say, hey, I'm Canadian. You know, like Jason was saying to me the other day that he could hear me saying a boot, you know, a boot, oot in a boot, which, you know, because he's American, he's from Chicago. So he was sort of teasing me about that. But yeah, I've had a few people say they don't like the way I say certain things. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't know. What do you want me to do? Like I speak the way I speak.
Yeah, screw
do you get any?
Yeah,
do you get that at all? Do you get that at all?
I do,
with your Welsh accent?
My Welsh accent. I just get people like, I'm terrible at speaking. Like my pronunciation, I can't even say pronunciation. My pronunciation is terrible. I always mess up names.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never really had like
trolls.
I never had I see people that are like in like the kind of small, like when I watch other people's video and you see people getting like really personal and like attacking them for like, again, for like little things like pronouncing a name wrong, they get like really personal. I'm like, oh, I don't know how I deal with it. But I think at the same time, it's like, you know, if they're sad enough to like be sitting there and attacking you for making a video when they're not doing anything themselves, it's kind of like, well, you know, you're just a troll, ignore them. But yeah, I've not had any like big hate at this moment in time. This is where all your people watching this video now are going to go on my videos and start commenting loads of hate on it.
Aaron said he did actually delete a comment on my first Black Panther video. Oh, really, Aaron? Was it in the chat, or you wrote me a nasty? Maybe Aaron wrote me a mean comment and then he deleted it because he felt bad about it. Yeah, that's okay, Aaron. I have Aaron says he has a Southern accent. See, I don't even know this. Like, this is so weird. Like, I knew what you sounded like because I've seen your videos and you knew what I sounded like. But it's weird when your chat, like Aaron and I have been emailing each other and talking on Facebook and stuff, and then I don't even know he has a Southern accent. That's so weird. In fact, Aaron, I thought Aaron was from England for ages. I don't know why. I thought he was from England. He's like, no, I live in the States. And I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see what else anybody else has to say here.
No, everyone's throwing. I say the one thing I get the most is that everyone says I have a Scouse accent. Do you know what Scousers are?
No, a Scouser?
From like Liverpool.
Oh yes, I know. My husband's mentioned this before. Well, obviously I'm terrible with accents because I thought you were from England.
Yeah. Well, it's in England. I say I live quite close to like the Welsh.
Wales
border. So
okay.
We always get like Scouse is the accent we get the most, but then somebody will say that sound really Welsh as well at points. But
oh, okay, yeah. My husband has a friend who's from Liverpool, and that's where I heard the Scouser from before. Solo is a soft drink here, apparently. Cardinal Doomsday. Where do you live, Cardinal Doomsday? Sorry, had to mute when we when he brought up Solo. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
what? Oh no, there was no spoilers. So that's
yeah, I did mention it.
There was
I
no
didn't mention
spoilers,
any
Patrick.
spoilers.
No, yeah, Patrick. Don't worry, there was no spoilers. Zario Zoan Daxis phonetically. Zario. See, but is it Zario or is it Zario Zoan Daxis? So do you know that name from Game of Thrones? Anyways, I got this girl gave me she got really mad at me about that, and I was just like, oh,
just read that comment. Yeah.
Just come on. Some say lice, and some say Lise or Lise. Yeah. Are you talking about Liza? Are you talking about Lisa Aaron or Liza Aaron? Is that who you're talking about? I'm not sure. I got in trouble for saying Tyrell instead of Tyrell. And then apparently I read, though, this is on Wikia, so I don't know if it's true, that apparently even the cast couldn't figure out if it was Tyrell or Tyrell. Like they were both saying it both ways. Tyrell.
Marjorie Tyrell.
Tyrell. Yeah. And so anyway, I don't know. I was like, whatever. But it was funny because on my Black Panther video, I said yellow ochre, and this girl said it's actually ochre. Oh. And I'm like, what?
It's like, come on.
What? And I'm like, okay, wait a second. First of all, I've always known it as ochre. Maybe in another country it's ochre, but I laugh because I had all these like tribal names for things, like all of these other words that probably I said wrong, and then the one thing she came after me was yellow ochre. Yes. So I thought that was pretty Zorro. Yeah, it's Zorro. Yeah, so that's Cardinal Doomsday. That's the one I cannot get. So next time, what I just do when I get to the point, like I was having some major issues with some of these words, I would just put it in. I would put it on the picture, and I wouldn't even say it. Like if it was something that was really sounds the same, Heidi. Ochre. Sounds the same, Heidi. Oka. She said it was like OKA, like Oka, as opposed to OKER. Ochre. You know what I mean? So I said ochre, which is, I don't know. That's how we say it in Canada. How do you say it?
Ochre.
Yellow ochre. You know the color, yellow ochre. You know, like the pigment.
Oh no, you
don't even know what that is.
No, I don't even know what that is. So I wouldn't.
Well, I've always called it yellow ochre. It's like a pigment that you use in painting. So like there's raw umber. Actually, if Tatiana's here, she might know. Because it's sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was going to make a terrible joke. As I say, I grew up on the Sesame Street. I have no idea what this stuff is.
Cardinal Doomsday says, glad to have you, Jamie. My great-great-grandparents were Welsh. That's lovely.
I know. I wonder, Cardinal Doomsday, do you know what part of Wales they're from?
I love Samayed Sand says, George R.R. Martin says, there is no right way to pronounce. Say it whatever way you want. See, I love that.
That's a great attitude to have.
I love that. Now, I did hear he said it's not like Arya. So I'm just doing an Arya video. So he did say, though, it's Arya, not Aria, as in like the opera. Yeah. Arya. Have you heard that? Arya?
Arya? Yes.
Arya.
How do they say it in the show? They say...
It's Arya. Arya.
Well, she hasn't got a name in the show anymore, but
she doesn't. I rewatched that whole segment when she's like, hey, it was you. Why didn't you tell me it was you? And he's like, she's like, I was asking for whatever his name. I was asking for Jackin, and he's like, I am not Jackin. I am the man with no name, and you are a girl who is whatever. I was rewatching that the other day. Yeah. It was so good. I rewatched this scene where spoilers, guys, if anybody doesn't know Game of Thrones up to season 6, I rewatched the scene where Arya pretends to be a little girl, but she assassinates Maren Trant. Did you remember that? God, it was violent. I was like, holy cow, I forgot how violent it was.
Did she get him like in the throat?
She does it at the very end. She gets him in the eyes, and then she basically is on top of him, and then she's telling him, like, she's like, basically, I'm Arya Stark, and giving him, she's monologuing a bit. And before she finally kills him. But I rewatched that scene. I mean, he was disgusting. He's a terrible person, right? But but at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot how violent that scene was. Because, you know, you forget. Like, I hadn't, you know, you know, I guess that would have been season 5.
Yeah.
But I was, because I'm doing an Arya Stark video.
Arya.
Yeah, what I did is, do you have the community tab on your channel?
No, I don't. I'm not cool enough to have it yet. I just
got it. So they're rolling it out. You'll probably get it soon. So what I did is I decided to do a poll on what should my next video be, and Arya Stark won. So because I haven't done a dedicated video to her, so that's my next video. So guys, I have that coming out later. So if any of you are Game of Thrones fans, that's going to be my next video coming out, and that's the one that I'm doing the dedication to Aaron's Anton. So that'll be really nice, I think. So, is there anything else you want to tell the people in the in the tube world, in YouTube space, before we go? It's getting late for you, right? What time is it there? It must be almost like 1.
It's 2 minutes to 1.
Yeah.
Can I just, if that's okay, I just want to address it's Mad the DJ. That's that's
my friend Patrick.
Yeah, he's just mentioned about I don't know if he's seen Solo yet, but they do address the name pronunciation in Star Wars in Han Solo in quite a funny way. There's quite a nice scene
for how to say his name.
Yeah.
Do you say Han or do you say Han?
Well, see, this is the thing. Until I saw Solo, I just said Han.
Yeah.
But then when you see Solo, it's Han.
Yeah, I know it is Han. I think I've always said Han though.
Yeah.
It's like Sansa. It's funny in my last video I was like, oh, Sansa, because Dave and Dan, like, he says Sansa, but I'm pretty sure I'd said Sansa Stark.
I'd say Sansa, yeah.
Yeah, Sansa, but if you watch Dave, whatever, one of the showrunners, he says Sansa, which sounds really pretentious.
Yeah, my favorite pronunciation of it is the way that Littlefinger used to say it. Lady Sansa. He always whisper it.
I know. He should have been the whisperer.
You never know.
I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him so much. But oh my God, these are spoilers. I didn't put any spoilers on Game of Thrones. Sorry. Yeah, I love that actor. He's Ian Glenn. Is it Ian McShane? Ian.
No,
not Ian McShane.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. He was in. Have you seen the Guy Ritchie version of King Arthur?
No. Oh no, Jack saw it. Jack saw it. I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, he's in that. He basically just plays like if Peter Baelish was a good guy, that's exactly what his character is in King Arthur.
Cardinal Doomsday wants you to say Nazda. What's that? Nazda.
That means good night. It's good night in Welsh.
Oh, so you want to say it?
Nostar.
That's really awesome.
I'm trying to think of some other
also
Welsh
say Han Not says 30-day reviews. Jamie's not a monkey, guys. Like he's not a monkey. You can't make him. He's not your puppet. You can't like tell him what to do.
Oh, I think he was referring to the Han not Han Solo debate, whether it's Han or Han.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Now I've screwed up my phone here, so I can't look at the comments. If I turn my phone a certain way, it goes wonky on me. Oh, wait.
Everyone's talking about Doctor Who, I think now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. I think it's...
Just glad we're getting another Northern Doctor. I'm not sure what that's a reference to.
I think that's Doctor Who. Also,
Doctor Who. Go to bed is all I meant, Jamie. It's late, broad.
I think he's
broad.
I actually don't know what broad is.
Is that bra? Like as in or bro?
No, like broad. Broad is a
broad.
It's a Welsh term, I think, but I can't think what it means.
George Lucas addresses name pronunciations in Star Wars: Han or Han, Leia or Leia, etc. He says there are regional differences in space too. Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Although who said that? Oh, that's Patrick. Patrick is my Star Wars go-to person. He's like, he knows a lot about Star Wars, as well as knowing about Queen because he's got the Queen chronology book, and he's working on. Oh, you know, he's working on a David Bowie chronology. I think is that right, Patrick? Maybe I don't know if it's out yet. But anyway, I'm gonna have Patrick on. He's gonna come on and be like maybe closer to when the movie's coming out. And we're gonna have a chat about. We just need a few trailers to come out, right? Because there's only been the one trailer for the new.
And it was a very slim trailer. So
a very slim trailer. Yeah, they might not have enough stuff to put out yet because it's not coming out till November.
No, and they've had a lot of problems with that the film as well. I don't know. Again, I don't know if you're aware. Just all the movies we talked about have had problems behind the scenes, but Bryan Singer was the original director. And apparently him and Rami fell out massively.
Yes.
And Singer was being a bit of an arsehole.
And Bryan Singer's had some problems again, like, you know, he's sort of, you know, in the Me Too thing, right? He's had some issues being called out for harassment. And then, but also even before Rami got involved, that British actor was supposed to be in it, right?
I'm not sure about this.
Patrick probably knows. But I can't remember his name, but he's a famous British actor. He was apparently supposed to play Freddie Mercury, and then he dropped out. But I thought it was weird because he seemed kind of old to me to be playing him.
I'd say from what I've seen, Rami Malek looks like the best.
Yeah, me too. I think so, because he's supposed to be pretty young at this point.
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, he's a little bit too old to play Freddie Mercury.
So Patrick's got the David Bowie chronology volume 1 coming out. So that's what he's working on right now. Nice. So we went to theater school together. That's how we know each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so should wrap up because it's really late for you, and I'm gonna go eat dinner. I haven't eaten dinner, and then like I said, and then tomorrow I'm going to a conference. I'm going to, if any of you are from Ontario, I'm going to Niagara-on-the-Lake. I'm doing a conference with my sister, so it's gonna be really weird because it's has nothing to do with this channel at all, but it's for food science. So
it sounds pretty interesting. The science of food.
The science of food. Yeah. So everyone there is going to be like an academic, like, you know, across, it's a national conference. So it's going to be people from across the country. But why I wanted to go is that it's at a spa in Niagara-on-the-Lake, which is like our wine region, kind of like Napa Valley, you know, California. So it's like the wine region of Canada. So that's where, so I'm going to be in a wine region, and yesterday was National Wine Day. So to celebrate, I drank a bottle of wine. Well, no, I shared it with Jack. He had some. And then also it's at a spa. So I thought, hey, this will be great. So I'm going to go down there and do that for work. And so it's social media. That's what I do for them. So I'm going to tweet about food science.
Food science. So what you're basically saying is you're going to spa to get drunk for 2 days, and then you're just going to pretend to tweet about the sciences of food.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to handle going to the actual speakers. Yeah. Hopefully my sister's not watching this. But no, it's like, no, actually it's pretty interesting. It's interesting. This is like, you know, I know it's like stuff like they make burgers in a lab now. Like this is one of the things, lab made burgers. Have you heard that? It's kind of Star Trek like, you know, you you punch a button, and then you open up a door, and then there's food sitting there. So the idea is that it's made, it's either 3D printed or, you know, it's made in a lab. So instead of it coming from a cow. Yeah. So this is some of the stuff that these people are working on. The other big thing, Jamie, is they grow crickets now, and then they make them into cricket powder, and you can add them to a smoothie. Nice. So this is what is happening. The future, they call it the future of food.
The future of food is cricket smoothies.
So if you guys are wondering what I do, my other passion in life is I do social media for food science. So that's what I do.
Nice. You get to go to conferences. You get to go and get drunk on wine for 2 days.
So anyway, hopefully I don't have to work too hard. I'm hoping to get in like getting a little bit of R&R, because I'll be away from my kids. That's the other thing. My kids are staying home with dad, and so I'm going to be away for 3 days. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Yeah.
Do you know what you should do?
What's that?
You should a nice little bottle of wine, kick back on the bed,
Yeah.
have the DVD player, and pop on Mamma Mia and get
Oh,
blackout
you
drunk.
had to get that in there.
Yeah, man. You've
Yeah, you
hurt
had to
me.
get
I'm
that in there.
scorned. I'm
No,
scorned by Mamma
no,
Mia.
never.
You've hurt me.
No, I have a feeling I'll probably have to do stuff. My sister will probably make me do some things. So I probably won't get to kick back too much.
You and your sister get drunk, watch Mamma Mia. That's it. Just stack
Okay.
off work.
Okay, I'll tell her that you suggested that and see what she says.
Yeah, just get drunk with Mamma Mia, and you can sing like Pierce Brosnan on the hotel.
So I'm just gonna say thanks to everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. And Aaron also, and 30-day reviews as well. He's also one of the moderators. Oh, and Jack is here. He's saying, hey there, welcome. Jack, my husband's in the chat right now. He's probably wondering when I'm going to be done.
I was going to say, come on, we've got dinner ready. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna have gin and lemonade. Have you ever had that?
Oh, I'm not a big fan of gin. Don't like. I think gin tastes like. I think gin tastes like earwax. Don't ask me how I know that, but it just. I'm not a fan of gin.
I don't know. It's basically a Tom Collins. That's what a Tom Collins is. So we're gonna have gin and lemonade, and I think it's really good. I love the taste of gin. It sort of reminds me of summer, or maybe it reminds me of my grandparents. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, everyone's going to think I'm an alcoholic now.
I know. Oh, you've talked about he's getting drunk on gin, getting drunk on margaritas, getting drunk on wine.
No, I know. They're all going to think I'm an alcoholic. I'm not, guys. Seriously. Okay. Jack can maybe vouch for me in the chat. And also, Hard Lemonade is great. Says, Patrick can maybe vouch for me that I'm not an alcoholic because we went to college together. Actually, that will be.
I was going to say, that's the one time I would have seen you the most.
Yeah.
No,
I know.
Drunk is.
So anyway, I want to thank 30-day reviews. I want to thank Aaron and everyone who came, and of course you for coming and doing this show with me. It was so much fun, and we'll have to do it again. Yeah,
you will. If you'll have me back, I will
definitely have you. And I wanted to say, and I know nobody can see the space you're in, but you had the light on earlier. But it's this beautiful space. Your house sitting, is that what it is?
Yeah, I said my friend's parents were away, and like my parents were at home tonight, so I was like, I'll just come to your house and film here if that's okay. Because
but I noticed they have these beautiful, like kind of vaulted ceiling kind of thing. It's really a gorgeous home.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
So are you staying overnight there, or are you going to go back home?
I'll probably stay overnight now. My friend's over in the next room playing. Yeah, he's playing cards.
Oh, your friend's here. Oh, your friend's there. Okay, yeah. Well, tell him thank you so much for letting you use the space and everything to do the stream with.
It's beautiful. It's very cool. I cleared it with his parents. They're really cool about everything as well. So it's really nice to let me use. Plus, their internet's better than me too. So
I'll just remind everybody that I've put your link in the channel. Jamie's link is in the channel to his channel, and then also your Twitter, and then you're on Facebook as well. So I'll add that after. So if anybody wants to check out Jamie, who has a wonderful video review channel, but he's also doing sort of behind the scenes and movie news and that type of thing too.
Yeah, just a bit of everything, really.
Just a bit of everything, yeah.
Whatever sticks.
I think you're doing an awesome job.
Well, thank you very much. And can I say it once again, just to thank you so much for having me on this stream. It's really nice. It's my first proper YouTube collaboration as well, if you can call it. Yeah, it's a collaboration.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. Yeah.
It's my first proper one.
Well, and the other thing I was going to say to you, I think you're my fourth guest, but what's sort of funny is I've only started streaming a month ago, and the first stream I did, there was an ice storm, and then today it's like 30 degrees Celsius. So it's just like, wow, just in a month, I'm in a t-shirt and shorts right now because it got so hot. And whereas a month ago, there was an ice storm. So,
it was pretty much the same over here. Say a month ago, it was just snow, and we never get snow, and it was snowing over here.
Yeah,
and it's been pretty
extreme weather, right? We're getting this extreme weather. So now it finally, in the States this weekend, it's Memorial Day weekend, whereas last weekend we had our long weekend. So it's kind of officially feels like the beginning of summer, right?
Yeah, it's the same over here. It's bank holiday now, so we're everyone's.
You have a bank holiday this weekend?
Yeah.
So it's your long weekend then.
Yeah. The summer is officially here, and to segue into it, the summer of movies is officially here.
Yeah, so right, yeah. So thanks again. So we'll have you on soon. Maybe what we can do is have you back after we've seen a couple of these movies, and then we can talk about them. What do you think of that idea? And I'll try to have some pictures.
That would be.
I didn't have any pictures ready this time.
It's fine. I think every.
Then I'll let you know how my conference went.
Yeah, just getting drunk.
I'll let everyone know how that all went.
Your conference.
My conference, yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be really beautiful there. So I'll take some pictures and tweet them, guys. So if you want to see maybe I'll get to have a pedicure. I wanted to have one this week, but I didn't get one. So maybe I'll get to have one at the spa.
Yeah, treat yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, thanks so much, Jamie. I'm gonna let everybody go, and I'll talk to you. I'll be here. I think I'm going to be here next Saturday, so I'll let you know this week, though. Okay. Talk to everybody later. Okay. Bye.
Bye.